dry ice was thrown into an indoor swimming pool at a sauna party in Moscow, creating a thick layer of white fog over the surface.
So they got the end of that. They don't get the context for that.
Oh no.
This is the best one. Pamela Kramer, 56, of Marion County, Iowa, was killed during an explosion at a gender reveal party.
Why is it always a gender reveal party?
Because that's where they want to blow shit up.
Now all of China knows it's a boy.
I don't care what people say, that's the best meme from the whole movie.
But, yes. I've lost my train of thought now because you guys were reading the fucking article of funny deaths.
Well, yes, but actually, no.
That's where we're going tonight.
So hilarious.
Alright, Paul, to D&D now.
Nice.
Okay.
As we welcome you all back to Twisted Fates. And Paul, please close the article because I know
I've
it'll
closed
be...
it.
Are
I
you
promise.
sure?
Yes.
Pinky promise?
As always, I am your DM. Very suspicious of Paul.
That's
Should
the
be
rest of the
more-
party.
Should be more specific, suspicious of Candace.
What?
I said you should be more suspicious of Candace.
Ewan, this is actually sad.
Fucking
No one's letting
Candace
him.
joke.
Yeah, no one was letting him make it.
I wasn't letting him finish and no one was picking up on it, so he's not getting to make that joke. As I guess the only two who haven't introduced themselves this evening are Craig and Matthew. But that's probably for the best. But before we get into the session tonight, kind of giving you guys a recap of what happened last time. Our party continued their investigations in Westcross. They also had a little bit of downtime towards the end of the session where Wolfric was able to start getting some new armour fashioned and Eidolon was getting his sword worked on. But I guess the crux of the... It might. But I guess the crux of the important information they gathered last time was they were able to deduce that the innkeep of the Sleeping Stag was perhaps not entirely truthful with them. Well done for finally figuring that out. They found out that there was actually an attack on the Sleeping Stag and that someone had survived. They got the information from a rather peculiar character named Barrow, who worked at the local scriptorium. And from that, they were able to, I guess, pry a little bit further and learned that the victim of the attack was the innkeep's son, who seemed to be infected with some sort of thing. Lycanthropy perhaps is a word to describe it, but even that's not quite right. As, well, it was very familiar to Eidolon, though in a very new form, and even newer still, he was able to cure the boy. Or at least, he thinks he was able to cure the boy. He was able to...
Even if still, the boy is probably paralysed for at least a good portion of his life, so good for him.
I don't know if it's that good for him.
He's alive,
but
more to be said for the rest of them.
But yeah, it kind of left them, I guess, with a few loose ends. Paul, not Marcusar, actually thought that was the end of the investigation.
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm just staying in character by not knowing what's going on.
He's not used to big
Very
mysteries.
in character.
But obviously that
character until the DVD commentary.
But that obviously changed a little bit after they had some downtime, and the party obviously started continuing their investigations a little bit, splitting off with Marcusar, Wolfric and Ranagash going to the Stonewall Emporium, and Eidolon being left to investigate a disturbance that they encountered while passing through the town, as it would appear that the beast is struck again, with someone else going missing. All the whilst Ranagash has had a new friend. A talking book named Simmaya that not only is prophetic like he is, perhaps even a little more so, but also gives him additional portent role. It's my role.
Well, also insults him.
It also insults him. It's a partially sentient, partially cursed magical item that you can't get rid of.
I mean, I could try, but it would just telepathically yell at me.
Yeah, it would. It would. But, as is tradition with you boys, we are starting with a split party. I'm gonna wait. I can't wait till that it's actually a dangerous decision when you guys split the party and you are genuinely just fucked. Because you've been very comfortable with splitting the party and I need to not make you comfortable with splitting the party anymore.
the murder is inevitable. One of us is going to die.
And I bet it's Paul.
Surely it's not Paul, and surely it's me, a man whose catchphrase in this show is basically I'm down.
I need to do that. I need to go through
0 hit points.
Like for the next highlights reel, I need to go through all of our episodes and just find all the times you say I'm down and just have them in quick succession.
When we're done the campaign, then he can try it.
Drink
Twisted
every time
Fate's
Ewan's
drinking
down.
game. Finish your drink every time Ewan says he's down. You will develop alcoholism.
What are our other drinking conditions?
Drink every time someone takes damage. You have to choose your party member.
Yeah, and then whenever they take damage. If you take Wolfric, you're fucked.
Yeah,
take a shot every time take a shot every time an in-character joke is made at Marcus R's expense. Take a swig of your drink if it's an out-of-character joke directed at Marcus R.
Take a drink whenever
Finish your
Craig
drink if
realizes
it's an
something.
Finish your drink if it's an out-of-character joke directed at Paul.
There's quite a few of those.
Yeah.
Would there be any drinking conditions for Matthew?
For every 5 minutes of silence on his RP, drink.
Well, look, 'cause I cut that out. I would need to leave the unedited footage, and at that point, that's what 30 drinks in 1 hour.
Start editing it like the SpongeBob 12 minutes later.
Minutes later.
I should use that for the cut screen just then. 1 hour later.
One traumatic vision later.
It's the only thing we can bully you for, Matthew.
That's fair. I'm used to it.
We'll say it like that, then we might feel bad. We don't, but we might.
We might consider feeling bad. As Craig, because you are on your own.
Oh boy, I'm starting first.
Yeah, we're going to start with you first. Mostly because, no offense to my other boys, I know you can blitz through this pretty quickly.
Oh, I can try, certainly.
We're about to watch. Someone put the fucking Dream speedrunning music over this because we're about to watch a fucking D&D speedrun.
Do you know what, Ewan? Just for you, I'll try get 1 in 7 trillion odds. We'll see how that goes.
Fucking 1 in 7 trillion, definitely not machine edited.
I'll go into the code of Roll20, make sure I only get nat 20s.
As I have just. Have you ever witnessed a statement that's the equivalent of someone kicking a hornet's nest?
Yeah.
Because I think that was it.
As for Eidolon, you are now, I guess, on your own as Wolfric, Ranagash, and Marcusar leave this kind of gathering crowd to head to the Stonewall Emporium, and you find yourself amongst them, listening to a lot of the rumours of the reasons to why this gentleman might have gone missing. You overhear his name as Gaius. Apparently, from a lot of the rumours, he spent a lot of the time at the church, and a lot of people are turning around and saying, well, why do you think he went missing then? He's there, he probably found something he wasn't supposed to, and now he's disappeared. As you start making your way through the crowds, it starts to clear, I guess, towards this kind of tenement building, very tall townhouse, where a lot of the crowds thin and the sentinels start to appear. They are obviously orchestrating the investigation. They are going in and out of the building, pulling various different things through. You can see that one in particular seems to be directing, I guess, the investigations. It's kind of almost a joke to call them investigations. She is an elf, though still wearing very heavy plate, very heavy armour. The only way that I can describe her expression, even her tone of voice, the way that she is moving and gesturing to the other sentinels, is almost frustration, but also cluelessness.
In fact, she has no bloody idea what's going on.
Yeah, but she also at the same time seems annoyed about the fact that she's got no idea and no one seems to know what's going on.
I would like to approach her, but on the way towards her, essentially try to peer in through the windows of the building. Essentially keeping my eye on the sides of the building, on through the windows, both seeing if I can see the mark that we of course saw on the edge of the tavern, and anything notable that might be inside that the sentinels haven't already mucked up in their investigations.
In terms of what you can see on the side of the building, you can't see the branding, you can't see the mark, though there's a good chance it might be on the back of the building, as its placement can be weird. It's definitely not on the front. The windows themselves are, at least the base windows, look like they lead into quite a small apartment that, by the looks of things, had quite a new child being born into it. You can see a crib next to a double bed. Doesn't really look like, I guess, a man's living area. It's a lot more decorated than that. This is probably like a series of apartments. With your passive perception, you are able to obviously scan the building, and you'll see maybe about 3 stories up a set of open windows, the only ones in the block. Slightly thankful that at least the Sentinels haven't touched that, at least.
That's going to be important.
But that is likely where this man, Gaius, would have lived. At least from what you know about the investigations. It could just be someone that has left their windows open, but considering it's the only set of windows that's been left open in the block...
Conspicuous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd be stopped on my approach towards this woman, so...
You'll get some weird looks, but she particularly doesn't seem to have noticed you. She is still trying to, I guess, work stuff out. And a lot of the other Sentinels, they are, whilst combatants, they don't really know or seem to know what to do about you approaching. As obviously a lot of the crowds are keeping their distance, their suspicion and gossip is keeping them quite far away, but close enough that they can watch and listen in. You are the first person that's actually, like, I guess, broken tradition. And they seem to be quite confused at that.
Well, if she is not giving me any attention, I'll simply have to make sure that I get attention. As I'll essentially just stand reasonably close, turn to face the building. The open window, was that where the man disappeared from?
She'll kind of stop, she'll turn around and look at you. Quite short hair frames her face, though most women who are combatants tend to have short hair. It's very impractical to have long hair, though it kind of almost matches her skin, that kind of tawny blonde. She looks you up and down. We assume so, yes. It's how everyone else has been disappearing.
When? Last night?
Sometime last night. None.
When did it become obvious that he went missing?
This morning. Apparently his landlord went in looking for him.
How can we be certain that he's not been gone for longer?
That I don't know.
Idlin would just give a nod and head towards the door that Sentinels seem to be going in.
Where do you think you're going?
Oh. I believe that was obvious, as I'm going to continue towards the door.
And your jurisdiction?
Forgive me for thinking that I did not need jurisdiction to enter into an area such as this when conducting a similar investigation.
She takes a few steps towards you and, I guess, more gestures for you to walk with her as she heads into the building. She kind of leaves her sentinels behind and a few of them look on with a few raised eyebrows and a few confused expressions.
If I do walk through in that case, before she can ask anything, I'm going to ask something. I'm to believe that the sentinels of this town have had absolutely no luck working out anything about this.
You would be correct.
Does that appear to be a coincidence to you?
I am obliged to say no.
Well, you're not currently talking to someone of the law of this town, so
But
you have your chance to speak freely.
I am currently on duty.
Idlin would more just shrug. You had your chance.
If you did find something in your own investigations, where would you go afterwards?
And why should I tell the person who, on duty, can't reveal her own opinions?
You're investigating. We need to know what you're investigating.
Then I'll tell you when I'm off duty. Or I'll say now if you're willing to speak your piece first.
Perhaps if you were more agreeable, then you could learn my own opinions.
You do realize I can easily say the same back to you. I already know I have information that can benefit your search, and I know that you have some that might benefit mine.
Then tell
An interchange
me
of
where
information
you'll go.
works best when the person who has less to give speaks first.
She kind of sighs. You can see her look between some of the sentinels that are walking on the corridors.
Listen, I don't want to give information to someone who might hinder this investigation and cause more people to go missing. And you're welcome to take offense to that, as it was all meant.
I would lower your tone.
And I would ease yours.
You are lucky I'm letting you continue your investigations.
Believe me, I would have anyway. You just wouldn't have seen me.
I'll ask again. Where will you go after this?
Oh, after this, I'll be simply meeting up with my comrades.
Was that so difficult?
No, but it's also not the whole truth.
It's enough. You want a brief summary of the man, yes?
Firstly, I would like to know what you couldn't say before,
She just kind of smirks.
as we're not at the room yet, and it would be best if I could hear that whilst I'm investigating the evidence.
Well, that I cannot say. You can just be patient.
You see, the thing is, I'm not very patient. I'm just going to stay quiet for now.
She kind of leads you up another flight of stairs, still with a smirk on her face. The man's name was Gaius. Gaius Vasuli. As far as we know, he was a half-elf, aged around 48. He spent a lot of his time in the halls of the faith. He worked there as a gravedigger. He also conducted some sermons, and from what people say, was quite devout in terms of the light and the life domains. He didn't have any other hobbies, didn't really speak to anyone else, had no other relationships, and has no other relatives in the city. For all intents and purposes, he was a loner.
No useful information from this one, then.
No. His landlord had informed us that he was 3 weeks behind on his rent, and he had come to check on him this morning in the hopes of procuring the money.
Well, he certainly has procured something.
If I'm honest, I think he would have preferred the money.
Well, he's got an empty flat now.
Other than that, no one heard anything. All that was left was an open window. The mark is on the back of the building, though we are unable to deduce its properties.
I'm already fully aware of the properties of this mark. It will be unhelpful to investigate further.
As are we, but we are unable to deduce its time that has been inert.
Furthermore, that is still unhelpful.
Other than that, we know nothing.
I'll stay in silence as I approach the top of the flat. Just make sure, as getting more to the top, that your men and women don't close the window.
Unless they've closed it in my absence of climbing these stairs with you, they shouldn't have. Your name?
I'll save that till we're inside.
Very well. Not a friendly one, are you?
Not friendly when people are going missing and I'm standing with a potential ally of a suspect, thank you very much.
She just sighs, heads towards the end of the corridor and through an already open door into quite a small apartment. Very much like, essentially, studio style. Kitchen, dining, living, bedroom, all in one. With a small offshoot that doesn't smell the most pleasant. It's likely a small ensuite bathroom.
Fantastic.
The only thing that has been disturbed is the kind of, I guess, any things that were on the floor. As you can pretty much quite clearly see where the sentinels have come in to move stuff around to clear their own path. However, his, I guess, sleeping area has pretty much been left undisturbed. I do need an active perception check from you as well.
Yeah. That's a 28.
You and your fucking eyes.
19 plus 9, thank you very much.
As you head in, you will be able to, I guess, smell something. It's the first time it really hits you. It's not like a musty smell, or it's even through the smell of the ensuite. It's still quite strong. It's more of an aromatic scent, but it's still quite bitter in the nostrils. The only thing I can maybe compare it to in terms of like an actual scent is like the smell of like licorice boiling. So it's that really almost medicine-y scent that seems to be in the
Can I
room.
tell where it's coming from?
Give me an investigation check.
I'm not too bad at these. Nat 20, so 24.
You sure you didn't change the code?
Oh, that's looking... Do you know what? I'll hire a specialist from a random university to write me a report with flawed math to prove why this is alright.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Fucking dream cheating joke counter 2.
He cheated though. He just cheated. That's a fact.
As you kind of scan the room, kind of walk around it, pace around it, she stays in the corner. She kind of lets you conduct your investigations in whatever way you see fit. You find a bottle. It's been opened and the contents has been emptied, though there's a little bit of liquid still remaining in it as it's kind of been knocked over and is kind of lying. Likely the smell you smell is the odour that's soaked into the floorboards. But the thing that I guess strikes you about the bottle is half of it is still gift wrapped. So it looks like it was wrapped in brown paper parchment and quite a nice ornate string. The top has obviously been ripped off, the bottom is still wrapped up.
Did people in medieval times have like bins? Places they throw their rubbish?
Kind of. It was more kind of just a collection area for garbage. Or they recycled it or reused it.
Does there appear to be one in this house?
Not really. There just seems to be a lot of trash on the floor.
Can I see anything that might be the top of this? Isn't like the top part of the gift wrapping, quote unquote?
You
I want to see if I
can.
can potentially find any form of label.
You can. There's a scrunching of brown paper packaging as well as a loose cork that is still stuck to the end of, I would call it a knife, but even that's pitiful, that's quite close to the bed.
Okay.
So you are able to find, I guess, the scrunched up paper, but there is no label on it even when you unscrunch it.
I'll take the bottle in that case and save it for potentially having Marksar examine it to see if he can work out what it is. Actually, for now, can I try work out what it is? If not, I'll keep it for Marksar too.
You can give me either a nature check or a medicine check.
Better at medicine, so we'll give that a shot. That's a 5.
Nope, you can't identify it. However, you do, at least the scent of it, obviously a good way to try and identify it is obviously the scent. The scent of it seems to make your head spin.
Captain,
Yes?
is this at all familiar to you, being a resident of Westcross?
The bottle or the make?
Both.
The bottle, maybe. It looks like some of the alcohol that can be sold in the Emporium. The make, I'll be honest, I don't drink, so it's not identifiable to me at least. It doesn't smell the nicest though.
Was the door closed upon entering?
No, it was open.
No, did we close it upon entering?
No, it will still be open.
Are there any other sentinels in here?
There'll be one in the hall.
Then I'll essentially just gesture for her to enter the essentially the bed chambers where the open window clearly is.
Yeah, she'll move further into the room.
I'm assuming there's a doorway to the sleeping chambers, or
Nope.
no?
It's all one room apart from the bathroom.
That's slightly awkward. Yeah, I would like to investigate the open window, see if there's anything actually identifiable or traceable there.
Another investigation roll.
I can give it a shot. That is a 12, so not actually too bad.
When you open the investigated window, when you investigate the open window, there is not too much, I guess, with it, at least that you couldn't already guess. The window itself is a single latch window. It likely looks like the latch was closed that night. The only thing that is identifiable for it being opened is underneath the latch. There is probably 3 or 4 scratch marks, very, very thin, along one side of the window frame. That was likely something being slid in to flick the latch up.
Oh, so it was open from the outside.
It was open from the outside, yes.
Very, very finessed. It explains why all the windows are open now, too. Because they only had something to open the windows, not reclose them. Interesting. More just keeping my voice low, looking out to, of course, there's a sentinel in the hall. Well, I've been able to work out what's coming, well, not what's coming in, but how they're getting in.
Through the open window.
Mm-hmm. And how do you think they did so?
There's no sign of a struggle. The door is usually closed. Window being their entry, they likely had a means of opening it from the outside.
Would that be a particular tool that would be used to do that? Potentially something in like a thieves tool, like a thieves kit or something like that? Or is that something quite a bit more...
You could get it in a thieves kit. Essentially it would be like a small wired hook. They're quite common. Latched windows back then, the latches aren't heavy like they are now. They were essentially just a small pin latch with a hook on the end that you could just do that with.
But why would you need 4? Like 4 prongs?
Yeah. If it was a set of thieves tools that were doing it, or even just wires in general, it wouldn't leave a mark because that's what the tool is there to do. It's meant for us quick in and out. It's really hard to trace. This is leaving a mark, and not only that, there's 3-4 marks against the window pane.
So potentially something using its own claws to get in instead.
Perhaps.
As more just keeping an eye on the hallway. Obviously probably can't see the sentinel because it's an open door. Sort of just a large hallway. Well, you're away from your men now. It's about time you actually talked.
I'm still on duty.
And the more time you waste, the more chance it is that another mark will be made and another person's killed. Stop wasting people's lives.
You can see her, like, almost try to hold back.
That was the intention.
Anger would be the word. If you're done with your investigations, I would suggest going to meet with your comrades.
No, I think I'll stay here a while.
Then you're wasting time.
And I wonder who's been doing it more over these past 2 months. As I'd start tracing my fingers along the edge of the window frame, see if there's any other marks.
There are none.
I'd take a step onto the frame and essentially perch myself on the outside of the window, taking a measure around the window frame instead. So if something's come and essentially latched itself open the window, it's likelihood that it's had to take essentially a step somewhere.
Give me investigation or perception. I already know which one you're going to choose. I still have to ask. Hey, it's another 11! Here we go again.
I don't want to start that again.
You can't see anything. There are no signs of struggle, there are no signs of...
I'm not looking for a struggle. I'm looking for to see if it's tried to latch in somewhere.
Even like point of entry, somewhere that it stood, somewhere that it's like... Even from like what you've been told from the innkeep and been told from the young boy, like there's not even points in the roof where you can see where it's probably clung to or latched onto. There is nothing in this room that it's left behind.
In that case, I'll hoist myself properly onto the roof of the building and have a look there instead.
There's nothing up there either. Nothing has been disturbed.
Alright, that's fine for now then. I've still got the bottle on me, so I'll jump off the roof.
Slow fall.
Yep.
As, I guess, the woman, the sentinel, kind of almost look out the window. Take it you didn't find anything then?
No, and you're not finding anything either.
As she kind of, with your passive perception, you'll kind of see her almost smile and just kind of nod as she goes back into the window.
I'm going to expend a key point for a little something though.
What are you going to do?
Telepathic communication.
Communicate telepathically.
As it's a small risk, but if she's actually trying to help people here, which I kind of got confirmation through by making her actually angry, so that's actually a good sign. Because she's still within 60 feet, I'll be meeting with the guys essentially halfway between Stonewall and here, which is about outside the Red Dragon. So I'll essentially just say, if you actually want to get this solved, I'll be outside the Red Dragon for a while.
Cool. As leaving you to wander the streets.
Well, I'm just going to wait outside the Red Dragon for the boys.
Oh, yeah. We'll wait. We'll go to Stonewall. The small emporium. The general store on the entrance to town. Quite a, I guess, big general store. 2 stories with pretty much everything you can think of. Even like small leathers and, I guess, cheap swords and cheap armour. Stuff that the blacksmith and the leather workers can, I guess, pawn off to travellers in a rush. The shop here seems to have bits of everything for everyone, not just like your standard rations and travel supplies. The shop itself is quite busy. A lot of travellers are, as you'd imagine, shopping. It is a store, that's why they're there. And there is, I guess, a quite tired looking man behind the counter. There is a small queue, obviously, people paying for their goods, but there definitely looks like somewhere he'd prefer to be rather than serving these people. It's the joys of retail. You can definitely see the dead expression in his eyes.
You said there's a queue of people waiting to be served?
Yeah, there's like maybe 2 or 3. You can see him, I guess, exchanging coin with them and selling goods. It is a store after all, and it is the middle of the day. Marcusar gets in the queue.
Well, that would be rude, you know.
Do you like pick up anything so that you can maybe like have that really awkward over the counter chat? Or do you just stand in the queue with nothing?
Nothing.
Wolfric's gonna, because we said that Marcusar would talk to the guy.
Ranigash and Wolfric just like awkwardly look at shelves that are kind of close.
Just like browsing within earshot.
Subtle, but at that point where you're like, not very subtle anymore.
Do we need to roll like performance for this?
I mean, for the shits and giggles, because I think it would be funny, yeah. Turns out you're both really shit at blending in. It is literally.
Well, it's a big warrior man and orc.
It's literally that thing of like when my friends tell me to look over there but make it subtle and I'm just staring. As Marksar, you're in queue. You obviously head up. You don't have anything there. You don't have anything in your hands. He kind of looks at you, obviously expecting you to hand him something. Are you looking for something in particular? or you need it. I'm sorry, I'm not on the floor. If you need help, I can come and give you a hand.
I understand you're a victim of the recent disappearances in Westcross.
You know, it's business hours. I don't really want to be talking about that.
I understand. Myself and my comrades, and I gesture to Wolfric and Ranagash, who are doing very bad performances.
Yeah, I feel like at that point you gesture over to them and they too just wave. And then like, fuck,
Yeah.
we shouldn't have waved!
We are investigating the recent disappearances. If at all possible, could we have a word? Perhaps after business hours.
It's... Forgive me, it's not that I don't want to talk about it during business hours, I just don't want to talk about it.
I understand it's been very hard on you, but we need any and all information we can in order to apprehend the suspect or suspects.
Then you shouldn't be here, you should be at the church where the suspect is.
I imagine you're referring to the priestess.
Yes.
We need to follow up any and all leads.
Then I've given you your lead.
There's still information that you can provide us.
Look, you seem nice. You seem like you want to help, which is more than what most people do, but I lost my son and I lost my wife. I don't want to remember them in that way. Everyone in town knows who's doing it, and no one is doing anything about it.
They think that they know.
This Wolfric just came up behind me at some point.
Actually.
And people are like, there's a queue.
Oh, fuck off.
We can't be 100% certain of anything. We need to learn all that we can before throwing around accusations. I understand people are frustrated with the priestess, but there's more to it than that.
You can see at this point he's getting, I guess, quite angry and almost quite choked up at the same time. There's nothing left to investigate. My wife and my son visited the church the night my son disappeared. They came home and he disappears. And now people are coming into my shop saying Gaius is gone too. The only place that man ever frequented was the halls of the faith.
Surely, if this man had no friends and was only known to the halls of the faith, then his disappearance would be easy to cover up because people are already more likely to blame it on the halls of the faith.
He's not gonna like that, but that's a good point.
There is no one else that is a suspect. The only reason they haven't done anything about it is because she's a priestess.
We have our leads.
Then follow them.
We won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much, and we're very sorry for your loss.
You see him kind
Step
of...
out.
I guess he kind of almost steps out from behind the counter. He kind of heads through a small door and Amor takes a break, most likely composing himself.
Is there anything you guys actually need here before we leave?
Oh, it would be so painfully awkward.
You know something, Marcus R. I may not be the most intelligent man in the world, but there's something telling me that he really won't want to serve us. So I think we should get going back to Eidolon.
That's a good shout. Ran, stop looking at those dry goods. Let's go.
Rand puts down the jerky. Leave shop.
Beef jerky packs. Buy one, get one free.
If we're outside the store now, I'll say to the bars, like, maybe there's something that I forgot to ask about at the halls of the faith.
Maybe there is.
I forgot to really put my investigative skills to the test, you know. I didn't garner enough insight. If we meet up with Eidolon, I would like us to visit the halls of the faith. Perhaps you guys can do some of the questioning that I didn't.
Alright, let's go get Eidolon.
So go back to where Gaius went missing.
So you, I guess, will have head back towards where you saw the crowds, not too far from...
Yeah.
I guess kind of the area between the Red Dragon and the Bluebell and Chamomile. As you meet Eidolon outside of the Red Dragon.
What did you gather?
Something, at least. Marksar,
Yes.
what is this? As I'd hand him the bottle.
Shoves bottle in face.
Don't
I'm off a
drink it.
I'm off a sauce, mate. Sorry. Dry January and all that. I do a medicine check.
You could do nature.
Nature, yeah.
I don't know which
Actually,
one you're. I don't know which one you're actually better in.
Nature, definitely.
That's fair.
19.
So with that, you, I guess, immediately go to try and obviously smell it, get a feel for the scent. However, the moment it hits your nostrils, you almost pull the bottle away, being like, yeah, I'm not sniffing that. As despite it having those, I guess, undertones of a fruity aroma of what is ever is left of the wine or ale or beer, what was originally in the bottle, what's been left sticking to the rim of the glass, sticking to the top of the glass, is a poison that you know as Knight's Wraith. It's a quite common poison that can be made from essentially any potent flower. It's most commonly made, hilariously, from the tar that Eidolon occasionally drinks. So the tar flower that Eidolon drinks. That comes from the little island not too far off Halden, the island called Lover's Landing. It's quite potent when it's made from that, but it can be distilled from any poisonous flower or any poisonous plant, so procuring the ingredients is not difficult. The effects of the poison, however, are, I guess, more interesting. As it's not a poison that's meant to kill, it can be obviously deadly if you drink it in a long lot of doses, but it's actually more used for sleep. If you drink its poison in its most potent form, you can pretty much knock out someone for 12 hours and they won't wake up.
I relay all this information to the party. There's a chance that these people aren't being killed but getting taken away somewhere. They might still be alive.
Eidolon more gives a simple grimace at that. After my conversation with Barrow, that's not likely. What I see as more likely is if they're being put to sleep, it's so that there isn't a confrontation with after meeting with the boy and the sleeping stag. It's likely they're being put to sleep so they can be killed swiftly.
Our man at the Emporium believes that it's still, like everyone, that it's the priestess from the Halls of the Faith.
I see that as unlikely for one reasonably simple reason.
Which is?
If that was the case and they've been blaming them for 2 months, the Sentinels would have easily done something by now, taking them in for questioning perchance. What I'm seeing as more likely is that someone, maybe the captain of the Sentinels, is keeping her there to be a simple scapegoat. It means people can keep blaming the same place.
Makes sense to me.
The wife and the son had frequented the church before their disappearance, as did Guys, as we were told.
You're welcome to follow up that lead, but I can't leave here for at least a little bit longer. I, managed to rile up the captain who was investigating Guys' home. It seems she actually cares about the people going missing.
Well, that's relieving to hear.
So, the irritating part was that she wasn't willing to give the information at the time, but I had to be sure that she did care. So I don't know if she'll actually see me here or not, but I'm waiting just in case.
Okay. Well,
Mark, sir, if you want to follow up your lead at the Halls of the Faith, you're welcome to go. I don't begrudge you for that. It's a lead.
fair enough.
As the four of you are having the conversation, or this conversation, Eidolon and Marksar, Ranagash and Wolfric, you two don't notice it. The two of you actually notice that someone's listening into your conversation.
Where from?
Not too far around the corner. He is enough that you wouldn't see him. I guess you wouldn't see him as a passing glance, but obviously you guys have a little bit higher perception than that. He's just watching you.
I'm going to make sure. I'm going to make sure not to drop. I'm going to make sure not to make eye contact. Would my visage still be up? Has it been 10 minutes?
Yes.
Shit. As keeping eye contact with Wolfric, I'm going to drop my tone and just say, Wolfric, talk. Anything.
Well, you see, the problem with...
And as Wolfric's talking a little bit louder...
the problem with an unbalanced carriage, right, is that it's only ever going to go in circles. All the wheels have to be the same size.
Marcusar, do you see that? As Wolfric's talking.
Now, I have a question for all of you.
Yes.
It's very important.
I'm going to
and Wolfric raises his voice, like, louder. How in the fuck is a kilogram of steel heavier than a kilogram of feathers?
As he says that, Marcusar, you just see Eidolon saying, 3, 2, Well, this is whilst Wolfric has his raised voice.
Yeah.
I'm going to action dash run at the person who's in the alleyway.
I'll also run in that direction.
But not as
Thank
fast.
you, Ewan. That was perfect.
Steal
I
us
just
anywhere,
knew
yeah,
that if any of us was going to be loud, it was going to be Wolfric.
Well, he's a Scottish man. Of course he fucking is.
Ewan get a performance for that.
No, he doesn't need one because that was pretty fucking good. I like the carriage.
Yes!
What do you do when you run to him, Craig?
Is he still there when I start running towards him?
Yeah.
My first instinct is going to knock him to the bloody ground.
Can I get, I guess, an unarmed attack, but with disadvantage?
Try. 2d20, KL1. That is a 14.
Nope.
Not too bad.
As you go and obviously try and pin him, he quite casually, I guess, ducks under your arm and just dances around the side of you.
As I'd call back to Marcusar, who I know is running behind me. Vines!
Ranagash.
I'm gonna Thorn Whip that motherfucker.
Ranagash.
I was hoping for Entangle,
Yes.
but Thorn will do.
Can you do the funny paralyze spell that you can do?
Funny paralyze!
Thorn Whip, yeah?
To see if I see him first.
Well, you're 9 passive. To be fair, you will see him at this point because...
Yeah.
Paul!
Never mind.
I mean, Paul,
Not
you
required.
rolled before I needed to check something, so you might not be as excited when
No, please.
Thorn Whip is an attack roll, not a saving throw, so this should be fine.
Yeah, but I need to double check something. Doink, 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 doink. Why is there so many pages in the PHB?
What do you need to check? Because I've got the spell here.
It's not the spell I'm looking for. It's,
okay.
DM shit.
You're just gonna pull them so hard they break their fucking neck.
Oh shit.
Their
Like-
kneecaps
like-
shatter.
Like they're fucking Gwen Stacy at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh no. That would be fun. Like, you do something so perfect that it actually has negative consequences.
I've done that before, actually.
I've
Someone
also
did
had
such a
that
perfect
before.
stealth check that they came right behind the BBEG,
Yeah.
who they didn't realize was the BBEG of the campaign yet.
Nice.
Okay, Paul, I need you to roll again.
Ah,
Come on, Paul, you can do it.
another nat 20. Let's go.
I mean, not in Paul.
Oh.
15's still good. 15's still good.
Misses.
I'm annoyed because I have 3D dice on roll 20, and the 8 is right next to the 20.
I know.
If I'm making an unarmed attack, can I bonus action flurry of blows to try and knock them down? Is you can use shove as part of the attack action.
I will say no because you've already had one. Or at least in this kind of interval, you've already had an action followed by Marcusar's action. So if Ran or Wolfric wants to do something, then
Funny paralyze.
I can certainly try.
What's your portents for today?
18.
My lowest is like a
19
10.
and yeah, his lowest is a 10.
I don't think a 10's too risky. So I'm just going to have to let the dice fall with my whole person.
Wisdom save, yeah.
I believe so. Let me just double check.
If you want to use the high one on,
Stop.
if you want to use the high one
Yes.
on whatever Wolfric does, even if Wolfric rolls with disadvantage, he gets the portent roll. So
23.
Yeah.
work well.
Yeah, just by a bit, just barely passes, you know.
Wolfric will run at them and make a
Shove
swing.
him.
I'm gonna make a swing with the side of my axe. So
You will
Can
have
they give me-
disadvantage.
Matthew, if you give him a portent, it
Yeah.
overrules disadvantage.
Do you want a single portent?
yes,
Do you want the 19?
yes.
There you go.
What does that make it, Ewan?
That makes it a 26.
Where's the 19? There's the 19. The 19's gone now.
I
That
love
will
how
hit.
portent overrules. I love
Okay,
how portent
so,
overrules disadvantage. It's so nice.
They'll take, I guess, bludgeoning damage because I'm hitting them with the side of my axe.
Yeah, you're not.
I mean, if you want to use that to shove instead, Ewan, you could just knock him prone.
That is also
can,
true,
they,
yeah.
can they give me a strength saving throw?
Oh yeah, he kills, so do this.
Oh fuck! Bye dice. Where are your strength? That's not your strength, that's someone else's strength. That would have been scary. 19.
Fuck. He still takes the damage.
He still takes the
He
damage.
still takes the damage.
As I guess this is about the closest you guys can get to hitting him. He dodges out of the way of Eidolon, he manages to dodge out of the way of the Thorn Whip, he manages to resist Ranagash's spell, and I think it's only because of, I guess Wolfric kind of catches him off guard, that he kind of wins him slightly, but it doesn't actually knock him back at all, as he coughs. None of you just say hi?
Who the fuck are you? Why are you watching
That must have been absolutely terrifying if this is a good guy, because it's just like a simultaneous four-person assault.
It's like that fucking scene from Black Clover when fucking Fenris is like gonna attack his brother or get attacked by his brother, and then like Asta, Luck, and Magnet are just like fucking appear.
I haven't seen Black Clover, but I'll let you make the anime
for
references.
My sister said you wanted to talk. I didn't think I'd get the shit kicked out of me.
It's okay, all your bleeding's internal. That's what the blood's supposed to be.
How many times has Wolfric said that? Down your drink every time Ewan says that.
Who are you?
Your sister being the captain, I presume.
Yes. My name is Ost.
I said meet outside the Red Dragon, not listen in to our conversation outside the Red Dragon.
It's a habit. As he kind of goes and I guess leans against the wall and takes a hold of his ribs.
Thank you, Wolfric.
You're welcome.
You'll be alright, I didn't hit him that hard.
Still doesn't feel good though.
I'm assuming from here, we're not going to be listened into.
No.
Alright. I asked her whether it was coincidence that the Sentinels hadn't found anything yet. She said that as she was on duty, she was obliged to say no.
I mean, she was on duty, so she is obliged to say no.
As Eidolon more just sighs and mutters to himself, that's not what on duty means. Fine, what's the truth then?
She thinks it isn't coincidence.
What does she know that she couldn't tell me then?
Probably not very much. Because we've not been able to find very much, she just can't make her opinions known when other Sentinels are there.
What about you then?
I'm not other Sentinels.
That wasn't the question. What is it that you know?
I know that a man makes his way through the town at night, marks buildings randomly with a brand. I know
That matches up just fine.
I know that he's quite a scrawny fellow. Easily startled, easily spooked. Doesn't know his way around town. The furthest he ever got out was the stone wall, and most of the places he has marked are on the east side of town.
Does that match anyone you might know of? That's directed at him, though it's also directed at someone else in the party. I've directed that question at him, but with a side glance, I'm looking at you, Ranagash.
Yeah.
You thinking the same thing?
No, I had a bad feeling that you were side-eyeing me.
Oh no, no. I hoped you had the same thinking for a second. That is mainly directed at him, though.
Not that I can think of, there's a lot of scrawny men in this town. He might be clumsy, but he's careful.
More my thinking is that there's only really been one person so far in this town that you've described to us as scrawny. Oh, that's a thumbs up. That's a good first step.
Not someone that Marcus or Wolfric's met, but someone that Ranagash and Eidolon has met.
Yeah, okay, this is a good start. Read those notes, Matthew.
I don't think he takes character descriptions down, though.
No, not really.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Now, ladies.
There isn't any.
Yeah!
There's no ladies in this party, it's just a sausage fest.
Is there anything else, though? That's already quite enough.
No, I've never actually seen the beast, which is odd. I prefer being away from people, which usually means I wander at night, and I have not seen it.
Potentially, if it's being called by an arcane sigil, it might have the ability to become invisible. That's a simple solution, but might make sense.
It is a thinking, but it doesn't make it any more frustrating.
No, I get that. You'll have to apologize to your sister for me. I had to make sure she actually cared. Though if she already understood that, that's very impressive.
A lot of people in this town don't care. They already know who it is, as he does big air quotes as he's leaning against the wall. So,
The priestess.
yes, the priestess.
Why has everyone got to have it out for religious folks?
They're an easy people to blame.
Yeah, we are.
Shut up.
You are not to soapbox the green hand when we're getting information.
Sorry, continue.
There's nothing
Would it be
else to
worth-
continue.
Would it be worth interrogating the captain?
He won't tell you anything. Or if he
Well, he
does,
sent
it'll
us-
send you in circles.
Which he's already done. Mark, sir, do you mind handing this man the bottle that we found?
Drink. No.
This was
Yeah.
found at Gaius's.
It smells somewhat familiar.
Mark, sir,
Poison.
you know what it is?
Poison called Knight's Wraith.
What is your intelligence, child?
Child?
How old is this guy that we've interrogated and beat up a bit?
He's in his late 20s.
Wolfram Pit.
Late 20s, okay, fine.
He's
Oh,
maybe
he's about the same as me.
he's maybe a year younger than Eidolon, a couple of years older than Ran.
Okay.
It's okay to have beat the shit out of him then. Moral conscience clear.
I've heard of the name, I'm not familiar with the poison.
Comes from a place south called Lover's Landing. An effective poison, but is often used as a sleeping agent.
Well, we do have a herbalist here in town.
Might be worth heading there and seeing if there's any consistent customer base.
Good idea. Where might this herbalist be? Or have we already been there?
He kind of points around the corner.
Okay.
It's called the Bluebell and Chamomile. It's a flower
Yeah, we are
shop.
literally around the corner.
We'll head there, but Ranagash, I just need to bounce something on you just before I say it. Yeah, if you three don't mind going ahead, as I would include this man in it. Oh, and your name is?
Ost.
You already said it.
I know, I just need it for my notes. Yeah, if you three don't mind starting your way to the herbalist, as long as you actually have the time to help.
I have my own things I need to do, but if you need me, I'll be there.
Ran,
Yes.
as I'd more just gesture for Ran to stay back with me.
Wolfric, you and I, the herbalist.
Yeah.
We'll see you there in just a few seconds.
To Bluebell and Chamomile.
As Ost leaves you, and the party split, though not for long, as Eidolon is merely holding Ran back for conversation.
Should I start that?
I said to
No.
Wolfric, what do you think they're talking about?
Girls?
Is it us?
Girls? Oh my god.
Girls' night.
Oh. Craig, you can have your conversation with Ran.
Any idea who that might be, Ranagash? Because I only remember one scrawny man that we've met so far.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but mail doesn't come on Sundays? Or am I being very weird again? No? But, you know the riddle? Oh, who's the murderer? It's the butler, because mail doesn't come on Sundays, or what?
Oh, that was a smart one. Okay. No, that's me. That's my bad. That's a good one. No, but it completely goes over Eidolon's head. He looks completely clueless at you.
Is that not a thing that... No? Well, the butler, and the Lord's butler.
Well, yeah, at least we're on the same page. After that, yeah, I don't know what you meant. As Eidolon more just... His expressions sort of just go serious again. Though that would be a rather serious accusation that we'd be making.
Indeed.
If we can get near the well, it's clearly not the butler. The butler's the one probably marking the buildings.
Yes.
Rand, do you remember when we entered the mayor's house?
Yes.
We saw something kind of weird.
Yes.
There was a young woman, was it, going up the stairs away from us?
I believe so, yes.
As Eidolon would more just shrug. If we can get in there, you can do the thing where you can see magic. We might be able to make our way through the manor house and potentially see where it's coming from. Maybe we can get back in using your correspondence from Summerhost.
Alright.
It's just an idea.
Yes, something to think about.
Again, it would be a rather serious accusation, though after what happened in Tenon, I'm not exactly putting it past a mayor. Alright, let's share this information with Wolfric and Marksar.
Right.
As you guys
As
catch up.
I'd had to catch up.
So, why is it steel and feathers they the same?
No, they're made of different things, right?
Oh,
But they weigh the same.
steel's heavier than feathers. I mean, I assume I don't deal with metals.
We think we know who might be branding the buildings. As Eidolon would more just appear next to Wolfric.
It's fucking... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Bloody monks. Too quick for their own good.
To keep...
We'll buy Eidolon a bell.
Not allowed to stealth anymore.
Literally, apex stealth predator, little dingly bell.
Are we really gonna bail Eidolon like a cat?
Exactly. Who's marking the buildings?
As I'd more just turn around, I'm assuming we're just kind of back in, kind of, not like loud crowds, but just kind of like back in the streets.
Mhm.
As I'd sort of just lean across, keeping my tone low, whilst addressing Wolfric and Marksar. The description fits the butler from the mayor's house.
You're saying the butler did it?
The mail doesn't come on Sundays, right?
Someone ripped it. Someone understands.
I'm sorry!
The mail never came on Sundays.
Picking up mannerisms.
But in all seriousness, that's the only scrawny person we found except from the young boy, and we already know they weren't the one doing it. Though this is the person marking the buildings, it's therefore likely that someone from the Lord's Manor might be the one who is either keeping it or is the beast.
Maybe it's the mayor himself.
After Tenon, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's
It
also
would make
not
sense
the
why the
mayor,
captain's
it's the Lord.
Lord.
Sorry.
It's the Lord.
Get your titles right.
Marksar and Eidolon don't care for titles.
Actually, we don't. Actually, Father Marcusar?
Captain
Eidolon!
Eidolon de Dallas.
Fuck you!
Actually, former.
Fuck me yourself, coward.
I'll fuck myself. I'll find a way.
We only care about titles that belong to
I
ourselves.
see that smirk, Em. I see that smirk.
Don't add another one to your stupid shit list.
Oh.
I mean, I wasn't actually smirking at that. I was smirking at semantics that no one seems to have noticed yet, which I like.
What semantics? Is it in the D&D game or is it in the thing I said?
It's in the D&D game. It happened last session, which none of you have seemed to notice. Ranagesh, you don't count.
Why does Ranagash not count?
Because technically, even if he did notice, he would know it already.
What?
Wait, but if you knew it already, so surely you should have already told Matthew this.
No, because then I'll just let you and Paul know, and that's not how it works.
I have literally no idea what's going on.
It was in the way that Barrow introduced Eidolon.
Oh, good point, good point.
Let's just assume I wasn't paying attention like I usually do.
But no, it was something Matthew already knows, so I'm not
Yeah.
too concerned about that.
Ah.
Never mind.
To the herbalist.
The Bluebell. Why can't I say Bluebell tonight? The
Bluebell Chamomile.
Bluebell and Chamomile is quite a small shop. It's quite a cute shop. It's one of the only areas in town that you've actually seen proper greenery, as it seems to have a rooftop garden that is very much alive with a lot of its vines and even almost like branches of a willow tree seem to drape over the front of the shop. The smell coming from it is quite potent, as obviously you have the pollens of all the different flowers, all the different plants kind of mingling within one another. As when you guys head in, I guess the two that are tending to the shop are quite an unusual pair. It is a human woman, kind of short in her stature, reddish brown hair that is tied back but very much, I guess, littered with leaves and plants, probably residue from the shop. Similarly, her garb is very dirted from obviously tending to the shop. The man that is wandering the shop, he is a half-orc, standing about maybe a foot taller than Ran, more kind of, I guess, sizes with Wolfric, even in terms of his shoulder width. Hair also tied up, again, kind of covered in a lot of the leaf litter, and again, clothes in a very, very similar state. And the four of you obviously enter into the shop. Ranagash, you recognise this gentleman not from the encampment, but from Kinreen. from when you were a kid from going to see your mum. Most half-orcs tend to live in Cynreen and then move out. The encampment doesn't always welcome them. You are a unique exception in most cases. You recognise this as a half-orc named Druk. He left Cynreen maybe 3-4 years before you left the forest. He left for this woman. Though the two of them, while seeming very, I guess, entertained by one another, don't even notice the four of you entering into the shop.
Hello.
We've entered under.
Not so undetected anymore.
Hello. We're here to ask a few questions.
The woman kind of turns and smiles. If it's about the plants, then we can answer whatever you want. As the half-orc kind of turns around, looks at the four of you, squints at Ran. Ranagash?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Druk, how's it going?
Wow, Frida's lad's not changed very much.
It's only been a few years.
Even then, most orcs change. Somewhat. What are you doing this far south?
You know, big journey, exploring the world. You know, encampment was getting a bit boring.
What, the encampment special child was just allowed to up and leave?
I have my ways.
Perks of being friends with the chieftain's son, then?
You could call it that.
He kind of looks at the four of you, smirks. So, what are you looking for then?
We're looking for the descriptions of anyone who's made any recent purchases of plants that could be used to be turned into sleeping aids or poisons. Anxiety, what if you're not good enough, depression, everyone hates you, Scandinavian clown,
God, what I wouldn't wish to have a notification on my phone every morning. It's just.
I'm sure
No,
someone can
pause
arrange. I'm sure someone can arrange the honk at you, Craig.
As I guess the woman kind of almost laughs at your comment, Wolfric. There's pretty much no plant in the planet that can't be used as some kind of sleeping draft or poison if you take too much of it. Gonna have to be a bit more specific.
Do you have any plants from
Lover's Landing.
Lover's Landing?
Specifically to make Knight's Wraith.
They kind of look between one another. Druk kind of, I guess, scrunches his face a little. We don't have anything from Lover's Landing, but we do have plants that can be used to make Knight's Wraith. It's, if you know what you're doing, it can be quite an easy poison to make.
Has anyone been in here and purchased plants like that?
Not that I can recall. We have quite a lot of shipments of flowers and plants that go across the city. Most
Potentially,
of them...
could you look through your records for us? We don't ask to see them, as that's your business's details, but...
Yeah, surely you must have it noted down in the ledger.
We have all of our transactions noted down in the ledger. It helps us keep track of...
Finances.
I was more referring to issues like this. We sell quite a lot of plants that can be deadly, so it's good to cover our own tracks. As he kind of, I guess, leaves his lady and heads to the counter and pulls out quite a hefty tome, quite an old tome by the looks of it. The pages are very much worn and very much yellow as he starts flicking through it.
I'd turn to Ranagash and more just sidle to him. You seem to know this person. Would you be okay being rather direct with who we're asking about?
It's potentially worth a shot.
Whether person or the location, as in ordering to the manor. Though, of course, they could be ordering it somewhere else so that it doesn't become conspicuous, but it's worth an ask. As I'd more just push Ranagash on the back a little bit forward.
Any shipments in particular to the Lord's Manor? Seems like quite a important place target.
He kind of flicks through a few pages. Can I ask why?
We're doing some investigations, the happenings in town.
So you moved away from Maiar to get involved in more happenings.
It's... happenings just seem to happen where I go.
I wonder why. We have had a few deliveries to, not the manor, but the keep. We don't really get to, well, not a lot of people have really been allowed in the keep, so we deliver them to the sentinels outside. Most of them, he kind of looks over to his lady, to his wife. She kind of, I guess, shrugs. Most of them have been compositions I've made. Bouquets. I don't think he's ordered very many in terms of, I guess, individual plants.
Anything specific about those bouquets that might stand out? Or is there a reason behind them?
I mean, there's perhaps a few ferns in them that you could boil down to make a poison. She kind of looks at Druk. The amount we've gave him, it's certainly possible.
Then is there a why? Why is he ordering them?
They've always been marked as gifts.
Did I see any flowers or bouquets in Gaius's place or nah? Oh, that was a pot shot, but you know.
Yeah, they've always been marked as gifts, and Simon usually always comes and picks them up before we close.
Simon, that being the...
He's the... I would say butler, but he's, I guess, more like a personal assistant.
I just turn and nod at Ranagash. Something about the post. No, I don't have much more to ask. This has been very helpful.
Druk kind of smiles. You're welcome. Anything for Frida's boy?
Wolfric, you seem to be planning something for the future. I'm sure flowers might be helpful for that, as I turn to head out the door.
Yeah, how far do you guys... Shit.
Fresh flowers, not very far. They don't survive very long. Dried flowers, we can pretty much go anywhere.
Holzal?
In the summer,
Thornsguard?
any season. Getting past the Gildenfeld in the winter is challenging, but Thornsguard, because it's not that far beyond the mountains, and we can always go past Kinreen to see Druk's family.
You know, if you haven't seen her in such a long time, Ewan, maybe bringing some flowers wouldn't be, like, amiss for, like, an apology.
Here's flowers, here is jam.
If you know what type of flowers she likes, you could customize it.
Do you have any Aurora's Kiss Dahlias?
Oh, these things. That's an odd choice, Ewan. Any reason?
I just thought they were nice. They're her favorite. Could you have a bouquet of those shipped to Thornsguard?
If you give me a name and address.
Her name is Sophia Flores, and you will find her. You will find her at the Vine and the Thorn.
She was born to be a florist with a last name like that.
My last name is literally Wild. I was made to be a druid.
Could you include a little placard?
She kind of goes over to the counter and steals some parchment from one of the ledgers. What would you like it to say?
I can fill it out.
She hands it over to you along with the quill.
I think she'd appreciate my handwriting, so I'll scroll it out.
Tell the whole party what you're writing.
Scroll out.
Pass the notes and across Elrond, are we?
To my dearest Sophia, you shall see me soon. Times are interesting, but I miss you nonetheless. W.X.
Is this the first time she's gonna know that you're alive?
Fuck!
I don't thought of that, Ewan. Let's cross our fingers about how this is gonna go.
No, the thing is, it will double confirm it's alive because I'm sending it in my handwriting.
Yeah, it's not someone else sending it with his name on it.
Or it's like a 9th level assassin rogue.
I'll hand it over. What are you, how much will that be?
For the flowers and then for transport, we can get it out on the first carriage. 2 gold pieces.
2 gold pieces for cross-continent travel. That's not bad.
Well, remember,
It's
a gold
not-
piece in Elrond is worth a lot more than a traditional gold piece.
Of course.
Hence, you guys aren't rolling in it right now.
I slip over the 2 gold pieces. Thank you so much. She will appreciate this greatly. And then I'll leave to meet up with the rest of them.
To be fair, I prefer how gold works in this because it makes gold feel a lot more like gold rather than just a swimming pool. That was good, Ewan. That was good.
It's pretty gay if you ask me.
Well, no one asked you, Paul.
Exactly.
You can shut up.
I'm joking. It was very sweet. Wish someone
Matthew's
would
back.
write me Wish someone would write me letters like that.
Then don't lead a cult.
Maybe Cassandra would write you letters like that if you didn't fuck her over.
Marcus are be like, I run a cult and I'm deeply plagued by my father's death. And Ranagash should be like, I have fucked up visions. Eidolon be like, I probably died and am now bound to an immortal entity. Wolfric be like, I love my wife.
She's not your wife yet. You can't say that yet.
I love. Wolfric's just that section of the fucking gym class heroes song that's fucking take a look at my girlfriend.
Matthew's back.
He comes and goes whenever he feels like it.
Stop becoming a loading screen, Matthew. I like your face.
Thanks.
As I guess,
That's my new Tinder pickup line. I like fish.
as what did the 4 of you do? I guess as you kind of leave the shop, or do you stay and chat to the half orc and his wife?
Right. Do we go straight to the manor?
What's the time? As I look into the sky, asking an incorporeal entity that doesn't really exist.
Shouts down. It's about 5:30.
Does this classify as evening to go pick up my new sword?
You are currently in the getting into the PM.
Okay.
So
AM to the PM, PM to the AM.
Has it been enough time for Ewan to go collect his new armor and me to collect my new sword?
I don't think we've had a rest since then, so I'm gonna say no.
Well, he said it would be at evening time.
You're getting into the early evening, so it is, hilariously I joked and said 5:30, but it is probably about kind of that 5-6 o'clock-ish time from you guys getting up, getting sorted, having breakfast, going in, obviously checking on the innkeep, going and getting all your shit sorted, Eidolon investigating the house, you guys investigating Stonewall, talking to Ost, and then going to the Bluebell and Chamomile. It is probably about 5-6 o'clock.
Alright, Marksar, Ranagash. Specifically you, Ranagash. Start thinking of a way to get us in there again. Whether that's you talking to the Lord again, Ranagash. He did welcome you back if you needed to discuss that. And I'd be able to come in with you at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfric, let's go check on how our equipment's doing and see if we can get it
Right.
before we head in and start shit.
Right.
I could climb over the walls.
That's very suspicious.
I could do it at night.
That's even...
It doesn't help.
That would likely get you accused of things.
They won't see me coming.
Oh, he's just making it worse.
Alright, let's go, Wolfric. Let's go pick up our shit, hopefully. We'll head to Halay first, because I'm pretty sure that looked to be a quicker job than the sword did.
So
It's also closer.
it is, yeah. It's kind of like it's easier going there and then Dragonfire Forge and then going back round. Where are you guys meeting up afterwards to, I guess, discuss the...
Do we want to meet outside the barracks of the Iron Dragons? Because at the very least we have
Yes.
the tie for Wolfric there, and it's close to Westcross Keep without looking suspicious.
Yes.
Could we hire the Iron Dragons to help us?
By the sounds of it, they wouldn't be competent enough to deal with this.
They don't need to be competent, they just need to look like they are.
But yeah, Paul might be onto something, because there did seem to be at least some competent members in there, but I don't know.
Right.
We're not... Are we sure? Are we thinking it's the Lord or the Sentinels, or both?
At this point, immediately I was thinking the captain of the Sentinels, but if it's the butler who's been referred to as more of a personal assistant, I'm thinking it's either the Lord is what's going on, or the strange girl that they have locked up in the Lord's manor. It might be her.
What
So
is
we're gonna
it? If I had a nickel for every time we go into a city with a strange girl locked in the Lord's Manor, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah, sort of like how the boy was phasing in between like man and monster. It might be the girl who's just completely monster.
Can we trust the sentinels to take our side and apprehend the Lord? Or will they be on his side?
Considering how the captain was acting, giving me and Ranagash false leads, I don't think we can trust them there.
You're gonna have to take down the whole goddamn place.
The whole system. The Iron Dragons don't necessarily have to do something, but if we can make them look like they're going to help us. I don't know if you have that kind of sway, Wolfric.
Probably not.
Do you know anybody who's in there?
Yes.
Maybe if our work isn't done, we could maybe see about that.
Right. Let's get our gear.
Let's check Calais first.
Outside the barracks.
Alright, there we go. That's our plan. Ranagash, Wolfric, Marcusar, think. Use your big brains.
You guys obviously head into the leather workers. You can see that your armor piece is actually looking pretty nice, Wolfric. It's upon a stand that is of similar body type to yourself. You can see that the elf is kind of working away on it. He is more kind of, I guess, lost in his own little world as he's doing so. The scales are very, very fine. They've been stitched together one by one. You can even see his almost brand has been emblazoned on the base of the scales. As obviously the two of you enter and he kind of turns around. Ah, gentlemen, I'm nearly finished.
Excellent. It's looking amazing.
Actually, it would be a lot easier doing the finishing touches if I could get it on you.
Alright.
It's just the strap work. Make sure it's not too loose.
Get the armor on. Get the new scale pauldron on.
He sets it on, starts buckling it up. It's a little tight to begin with, though he's very fast at being able to adjust it to make it a lot more comfortable. This, in comparison to the one you had before, the one that you had done was obviously done by the Master Armourer in the Citadel. It was very, very fine. It had a lot of manoeuvrability to it. It was quite comfortable to wear. It was really, really tough, really, really durable, really, really strong. When you put this one on, you can obviously feel and buckle the straps to your armour, but it doesn't feel like you're wearing anything. These scales had weight to them as you were carrying them around, but you can just fling your arm about, and it feels like you're just wearing your padded gambeson. It doesn't feel like you've got anything on your arm. The way that the scales move, they literally almost move one by one, interconnecting every time you move your arm, changing their placement, but never do they reveal your gambeson, never do they reveal any of your skin, any of your mail. Everything is constantly, almost like a snake skin, just interlocked with one another.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Nothing at
all.
As your AC obviously goes back to what it was before you took your armor off, so I think it's 18, if I remember correctly. But because you're now wearing this, you also get an added bonus. That as long as you're wearing it, I can't imagine why you take it off, but you know, who knows, you might get naked one day. As long as you're wearing it, you have resistance to acid, necrotic, and poison damage.
3? That's nice. That's nice.
Wow, Wolfric, the DM lets you have 3 resistances.
I mean, I gave you a cool wild shape, but you've never fucking used it yet, have you, Marcusar?
Oh.
The narrative moment hasn't come yet.
As I would turn to the man whilst he's finishing fitting Wolfric, she does still wear your work, by the way. I thought I recognized it when I came in.
It's good to know.
I don't expect a response. I just thought you'd like to know. I was aware it wasn't on bad terms, so...
It was never going to be on bad terms. I just wanted a new life.
Everyone just thought it was. I more just wanted to clarify that it's still the best she's got.
From what I gather, as he kind of looks you up and down, they don't do much leather work anymore.
To be fair, they don't do much armor work.
As he kind of coughs, how does it feel?
Excellent.
It'll be tough, it'll be durable, and, well, the hide will offer you some extra protection.
You've done an excellent job.
If there's anything else you need, gentlemen.
Do you know if... was his name Fax, as I turned to Wolfric? The Forge for the Iron Dragons. Is that his name?
Yes.
Do you know if he's done work on a sword made of obsidian? I'm checking if that job's done yet.
Couldn't be honest. Don't know. Don't really talk to him much. He just often delivers pins or gets his daughter to deliver the pins to me. He is one of the best smiths I know, so if he's just tending to a blade, he'll have likely had it done a long time ago.
I was just wondering from proximity if you'd known or not, but that's fine. As yeah, I would head out with Wolfric if he's coming.
Yeah.
Head to the smithy, because you already paid for it, didn't you?
Yeah.
So hope you haven't broken it. I really hope it's not broken.
It is obsidian, so there is the chance that it could break.
I know, but it'll come out better if it doesn't.
As obviously you loop round and head to the forge. Again, the fires are not lit, which is obviously strange considering, you know, he was supposed to be working on your blade. However, when you get into the, into the shop... Oh no, there goes my dice.
How many of them?
Just one. It rolled an 18 though, so can't complain.
Hope that was work on the sword.
It wasn't. It's off the table. It doesn't count. However, your sword is in its sheath. It looks... I dropped another one. I need to stop playing with my dice.
Stop it!
It looks like it has been well tended to. You can see that at least the arms of the hilt have been replaced. The hilt itself seems to be re-leathered, but the blade itself you can't tell if it's had any work done to it because it's obviously in its sheath.
The sheath.
Fax is kicking around though. He seems to be going back to work. You can see him on the grinding stone working away on some more training blades as the two of you come in. I didn't drop another dice, I swear.
Pick them up and then I'll continue. You have to pick them up first though.
I can't reach it though.
Then reach them.
Got one. Where's the other? Oh shit. You guys saw nothing. Where's the other two? There's one. It's a
Have you dropped them under the bloody couch?
Oh no, there is. Found it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Alright, sort your setup.
There you go. I'm back.
As I'd more just knock on if there's a door frame.
Ah, gentlemen. You've returned for your sword, yes?
Aye, as long as it's not broken.
Positives it didn't break. Your hilt, however, I had to fix it.
What happened? As I'd go over to pick up the sword.
Dragon fire.
Yeah, it's looking better than it was though, so I can't exactly complain. As I'd essentially just affix I take the sword out of the sheath, I put it down for just a second, sizing up, and I affix the sheath back to my back.
The sword itself looks, I guess, shinier would be a way to describe it. The obsidian looks polished. It very much has that black glass effect in comparison to like shiny rock. As at least for stats wise, it's now officially a magic weapon. As you have a masterworked blade. So it's a +1/+1 masterworked blade.
+5 to damage and +8 to hit.
Which means for, at least for my own rulings as well, if you found the capabilities of it, you could get it enchanted. As long as you found someone with enchanting capabilities.
I mean, there might have been one, but I think Matthew might have pissed her off when we came into town.
You're welcome.
Alright, this is nice though. Masterworked obsidian longsword. I'll take it.
As the two of you have some new equipment.
Exactly what I asked for. Thank you.
It was an interesting job, but it wasn't a difficult one.
I suppose that's good to hear then. As I just turn to Wolfric and just say, so you know someone in the barracks that you could maybe talk to?
Alright.
Alright, let's go then.
Alright. Let's head back. Let's head to the barracks.
As the two of you meet up with Marcusar and Ranagash, obviously standing outside of it. And Ranagash. I need dice.
Oh, it's vision time.
Oh,
yeah, Ranagash, I need some dice from you. However, I only need one at the moment. I need a D10.
Oh, it's changing.
Well, I'm running out of options, so the numbers go down. Oh, this is an interesting one.
Oh no.
What did he roll?
No.
It's a 9.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
Have we had any of these ones yet? I don't think we have. Oh, we've had one. We've had Marcusar's, so this is a new one.
That's always menacing.
Ranagash, Obviously the boys are coming across the sands. They're just kind of walking towards you as you're kind of standing, I guess, more mulling over concepts and plans with Marcusar. However, you don't even feel, I guess, it come on this time, as Wulfric and Eidolon are walking towards you, and all of a sudden their forms start to shift and start to change. Wulfric himself shifts into what looks like Marcusar, that kind of silhouette of Marcusar's shape, and Eidolon himself changes form into, hilariously, this elf that you keep seeing. Very similar build, obviously very similar height, if not a little bit taller than Eidolon, maybe by about half a foot. Kind of standing with quite a shit-eating grin on his face, is a way to describe it. As the sands and the buildings around them start to shift and change as well, and you start to find yourself in that very now familiar setting of the wasteland. This very purple landscape, ruined buildings, this almost tower off in the distance that you can't really see what it's made out of, but it almost just, it looks like it's about to collapse. That kind of almost juttered architecture where it doesn't look like it's natural, but at the same time it does. However, you are standing with Wulfric and Eidolon and another figure, but you can't see it. They are standing there. They are about maybe 5'5", 5'6". They are quite a thin, spindly figure by their silhouette, by their shadow. Your vision is trying to, I guess, give them features, but it can't. The only time this has ever really occurred, even in your past visions, not just throughout this campaign, is usually when someone appears in one of your visions and you've never met them before, or you've not met them yet. As it's almost like your brain is trying to predict what they will look like, but because you don't know who they are, it can't make those predictions correctly. As through his silhouette, his facial features constantly shift and change, though they always stay male. They are never given like female facial features or even like female hair. It's always like short, shaggy hair and very male features. As he kind of stands at the end of the line of the four, well, three of you and then him is four. Through the kind of purple mist, you can start seeing a body or a creature start to emerge, wrapping itself around, well, Marcusar and this elven man. Very long, very elongated. You can see that it has some scales, though not all of them are there. Parts of its body are contorted and cracked. It looks partially serpentine, but at the same time not quite. As it starts to step through the mist and come into view, it is a lot larger than perhaps you gave it credit for in prior visions, as you see one of these dragons, though this very much appears to be a full-grown version of one of these dragons. As if it were to land in Westcross, using a comparison to where you are now, its entire body would probably fill up the manor house. That's not including its wings or head. This thing is massive.
It's a chunky boy.
Chunker.
I fucking knew he was going to say that.
As you're standing there and as it comes into view, almost without thought, almost without reason, a bridled anger, understandably so, though this seems to be more reasoned than anything else. As Wulfric ignites his axe, and before any of you can stop him, he charges for the beast. Very vengeful and is, I guess, a little bit more so than what you're used to. He obviously wants to kill this thing to bring honour to the Iron Dragons. He wants to kill this thing to avenge his friends, but this seems to be a lot more personal as he charges this thing, but almost without thinking, he is knocked to the ground by this creature. Leaving himself open in his own anger, he is knocked to the ground and presumably killed by it. Though that's not where your vision ends, as yourself and Eidolon, obviously in shock and having little else to do, seem to ready yourselves for combat. Eidolon being more so cautious, as perhaps only a few seconds pass and you start to see Wulfric's body twitch again as he rises from the grave. Very much contorted and broken, though still wielding his axe and wielding it very heavily, as seemingly not in his own mind, not in his own form, and very much under the dominion of something else. The elf kind of smirks, says something, though the words are mumbled, and Wulfric charges towards, well, the two of you and this shaded character. almost driving his axe through your chest, through your shoulder, before you are brought back to the sands of Westcross, where Eidolon and Wulfric are standing in front of you, and I need a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
Plus 2. 2d20 KL1 plus 2.
That's pretty good.
Nice. The only thing you feel, and I guess for Eidolon you'll kind of be able to see it, Marcusar, a little bit, but it's almost like a double take for yourself. Vanagash, the only thing that really occurs with this is you almost feel winded. Like you kind of just, I guess it's that kind of ow, but no other reaction takes place. As the four of you are now together on the sands.
If it's just a cough, I probably wouldn't ask him about it.
Yeah, it's just
Bless you.
It's like that essentially.
Wolfric's got it right.
Right.
So what are we doing? Are we heading in to get help, or are we going there? Are we going straight there?
You two got a plan?
Do they have any reason to suspect that we suspect?
No.
It's more thinking forgetting yourself and Wolfric in. Because myself and Ranagash can get in with the word that we already have, and the Lord did say we could return at any date.
Is there anything to say that we couldn't join you?
They didn't let you in last time. They seem to only be letting in people who have direct entry, and because myself and Ranagash were mentioned by the Lord of Summerhost, that's how we could get in.
I don't want the Lord of Summerhost to mention my name. But we're
We
part of
know.
your party. Could you not attempt to say they're with us? We require them.
Can you, Ranagash?
Did we? Did we try that last time?
I'm shaking her head.
I mean, Wulfric and Marcusar tried, but the two of you didn't try.
Right. We'll try that.
Do we want to try with the Iron Dragons first, Wolfric?
Alright.
We don't need to if you don't feel it's necessary.
I'm not sure it will be necessary.
It's more, if things go pear-shaped, the Sentinels will go with the Lord, perhaps, and we might need to have our own strength.
I'll go speak to Wolfgang.
I guess, would the three of you follow him?
I'll probably
suppose.
wait outside. I'll let Wolfric do what Wolfric needs to do.
I was already with Wulfric the last time when we met Wolfgang, so
Yeah.
I would.
I'll head in.
What about yourself, Ran? You staying with Eidolon or you heading with the boys?
Yeah, I'll vibe outside.
Vibe outside.
Yeah. I'll
As Wulfric and Marcusar, you guys head in, obviously looking for Wolfgang. He seems to be
head
with a
in.
few trainees when you go in, rather than near the reception desk. It looks like they've probably just done a few bouts of sparring. A few of the younger recruits look a little bit worse for wear, and he doesn't look too pleased.
Wolfgang.
Wulfric.
I need your help. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be pretty. You cannot ask me about it later, but I will owe you one.
Right, pup, slow down. He kind of turns to the trainees. Off and get showered the lot of you, and go to the infirmary, or it'll get septic. As he turns his attention back to you. Now, what do you need my help with?
I don't know how to phrase this in a political manner. Besides the fact we have culpable reason to believe that we have found the culprit of the people going missing. We do not have a specific lock on the exact person, but we have culpable reason to believe that they are a person operating within the manner of the Lord. Do you have any way that you could get us inside? Two of our party members have already guaranteed entry, but me and Marcusar need to get inside, and we need someone that we can trust if things go sideways.
He kind of, I guess, steps a few paces closer and lowers his voice just that little bit. We can't be seen to be helping you, alright?
Right.
The Sentinels have already made it pretty clear that we are not to get involved. Peter's already asked them on several occasions if they want our assistance, but they say it might be due to monetary value that they can't afford our services. He's already offered to do it for free, and yet they've still refused.
As if it couldn't get more suspicious.
Therefore, throwing in a political matter, we can't be seen to be getting involved. However, doesn't mean I can't lie for you, pup. You want entry into the keep for you and the boy, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. He kind of straightens up, cracks his shoulders, heads over to the reception desk. Elena, give me a writ of passage for young Wolfric here. He needs to go and speak to the Lord about some transport from the Gildenfeld that seemed to have been going missing. Wants to know where it is, and we don't have the papers for it. I think the Lord might, though. Just not had the chance to deliver them to them. Pretty serious cargo gone missing, so we're gonna need it pretty sharp. As the old woman kind of looks up at him. I can do that, Wolfgang, though I will have to let Peter know. Especially with a writ like this and the situation in town. As he kind of leans across the desk and gives her a smile. Don't worry about it. I've already spoken to him. He was actually the one that told me to come and see you.
You've got a good man here, Ewan. I like this dude.
If you want, I can even sign the writ. I know it's not Peter's signature, but it's the next best thing. As she searches through several files, seemingly worried, quelled, with a nat 1 on her insight check.
Let's go!
Tiniest brain.
As she hands over the writ of passage, lets him sign it with his own signature. He gives it the southern seal. He kind of waves it just to kind of dry the ink, dry the wax. This should get you in, but I swear to God, if you get in trouble, I cannot help you.
You know me, I can get myself out of it just fine.
Yeah, but ideally without bloodshed, pup.
Yeah. I'll make sure that a keg of your favourite ends up at the wedding.
Make it 2. You owe me big for this. As he kind of hands over the writ.
And Wolfric, you can see Wolfric kind of sarcastically, 2 kegs of Firebelly whiskey.
Through this time, I'd just be running through the list of suspects with Ranagash. Essentially just over again, thinking of how we essentially take it to each. Because there is the strange girl we saw that we do need to at least look into when we get there. And if I need to sneak off, I can do that.
Thank you, Wolfgang. Wolfric and Ranagash. Wolfric, Marcus Art, I presume we'll head back to Eidolon and Ranagash. Wolfric comes back, holds up the writ and goes, "Gentlemen, connections.
Does that get you and Mark Sarin?
This gets us in."
Perfect. Alright, we have the Lord, we have the Captain of the Sentinels, and the strange girl that we saw in there. We need to be able to hit all of those in our time here.
And the butler.
And the butler. Something about the mail. Yes, Ranagash?
Saying nothing, just, nice shady grin.
Alright, let's make this time count.
Let's synchronize our watches.
Go.
What's a watch?
Like...
We all just look at the sun and okay.
Synchronized.
All point in the same direction.
We all just go...
Yeah.
Synchronized.
Let's go.
As you guys head to the gates.
I love when we can be put together, we can be put together.
I mean, we have a plan. I also, Ewan, if that's how the Northern Iron Dragons act, I think we'll be in for a good time when we meet them, because he seemed solid.
Welcome to just an absolute bunch of fucking lads. Like, genuinely, it's just...
Lads on tour, but in the same place.
Just a couple of bevies with the boys.
It's just a couple of manhunts with the lads, hunting down some criminals, breaking their fucking kneecaps.
As you guys head to the keep, you head to the gates. You're obviously stopped by a few of the sentinels that are out there. Do you have business in the keep?
Pull out the writ.
He kind of looks over it. My apologies.
Should get me my friend in. The gesture marks her.
And yourselves, gentlemen, kind of looks at Eidolon and Ranagash.
Sorry, Matthew, you're the talker.
We're just What is it? We're just here to like speak with the Lord about stuff. Is that our cover?
I mean, the Lord said we could come back if we wanted to. So it's like we had our way in the first time. We can essentially just use that again.
Yeah. We're here to speak with the Lord again. He mentioned we'd have free entrance if we ever had to discuss things with him again.
Your names, gentlemen?
Ranagash and Eidolon.
He kind of gives a nod, looks between, I guess, himself and another. If you'll follow me, gentlemen, I can take you over the palisades.
We're in.
As he takes you up and over and leaves you in the keep.
This feels like the start of a heist movie.
Yeah.
Or like start of the big like kickoff of a heist movie.
You son of a bitch, we're in.
Alright, just for sake of ease, do you want me to expend a key point so that we can all talk telepathically?
Yeah.
Well, remember, they can't reply to you. The only one who can reply to you is Ranagash.
I know, but if we sick Matthew with someone who can't respond,
Yeah.
I mean, I can be with someone and Matthew can be with someone and we can have communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that those two are meant to be together, and we're meant to be together.
Okay, Matthew, you just message when you need to. You do have message. That's long range.
I'm just a walkie-talkie.
You ask me which member of Danny's crew are you from Ocean's 11?
Actually, wait. What's the duration of detect magic? Because we could try that now and see if anything's coming from the
hour.
10 minutes. Is it an hour?
I think it's an hour.
No,
up to 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes. I thought it was. Isn't
But
it an hour?
it's only 30 feet for 10 minutes.
I'll keep that in mind.
But that presumes 30 feet in all directions, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's up, down, left, right, round in a circle, squares.
Right. Let's hit the Lords first, and if we don't find anything there, we head back to the barracks.
I mean, the guard will take you to the Lord's house, as that's where all of you have requested
I just thought he said.
to go.
I just thought he said that you said that he was leaving us in the keep.
He was leading you into the keep, but he'll take you to the Lord's door.
Cool. This is fine then. This is fine. Let's do this, boys.
Bravo 6 going dark.
The game has changed. Bravo 6. Going dark.
This feels like this feels like a proper mission. I'm loving this.
Yeah, it's cool.
As
proper.
you guys will obviously be left at the door, and answering the door is, well, a man that you will recognise, Eidolon and Ranagash, as being Simon, this very spindly, scrawny gentleman dressed in noble attire. For the first time, Marksar, Wolfric, this is your first time meeting him.
Matthew, do you want to proc that detect magic before now?
Give me a sec to write my notes, but yes, I can do that, or if Paul wants to do it.
I can drop a detect magic right now.
Because I've got it as well. But
It was more suggesting Matthew because Matthew can speak telepathically to us, which means if Matthew picks up something, he doesn't need to blurt it out.
Yeah, but I can do some pretty subtle winks to everyone, you know.
I trust Ranagash.
that's you told Paul. I can do that. I can very subtly reach into my bag and just take hold of a nice
Just do all that, like,
rune.
where you, like, rubbing your hand over your mouth and just, like, he's got a gun.
I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna shake the butler's hand.
He will take it. Sorry, gentlemen, I know Ranagash, Eidolon, I'm assuming you're here to speak with the Lord again. Gentlemen, yourselves, as he kind of shakes your hand, Wolfric.
Reinbrand, I'm here on business to discuss stuff with the Lord.
Of course. If you would follow me, gentlemen, as he kind of gestures for the four of you to come inside.
I presume
Ranagash. He didn't ask
I was doing like a fairly firm, like grip. You know when like you do like a really firm handshake and there's a bit of sweat.
Nice.
Crush his hand a little bit.
And then when he turns around to lead us, Wolfric leans back and smells his hand to see if he can smell any residue coming off of the guy's hand.
Oh,
I like it.
Ewan!
Give me a perception check.
This is when we need the good rolls this session.
This is when we need the good rolls, because
Good thing we got importance.
Dream luck.
is our proficiency bonus is still +3, right?
Yes. Plus 4 is at 9th level?
+3. 10.
That's not bad. That's flat.
It's not flat.
He doesn't.
The scent was strong.
You don't smell any of the residue of, I guess, the poison. You don't smell that licorice scent. However, he does smell incredibly floral.
Oh, maybe to mask it.
Yeah.
It's his eau de parfum.
essentially.
Whilst Wolfrick's giving him the handshake, I'm just gonna lean into Marksar. Maybe I should just telepathically for this. You know, it's worth it. It's subtle enough.
I have to say, sir. Is that what kind of cologne do you use?
No, this might be enough.
Is that Drakkar Noir? I hear it's a smell on you.
Actually, in that case, whilst Ewan's saying that, I'm gonna lean into Marksar and just say, keep him distracted. I'm gonna try tailback. As in, like when we actually get in.
So
Markstar's great at distractions.
It's a very refined scent. Was it expensive? Was it a gift? Where did you get it?
he kind of turns round. It's not my own. The lady of the house is quite a fan of flowers. This season, end of season, the pollen tends to stick to anything that moves.
Ah, so it's a floral scent. Are you tasked with taking care of her flowers?
I often pick up her deliveries, and I am somewhat of a steward around here.
Insight check. I'm insight checking this motherfucker.
Whilst you're doing this, Ewan, can I just give Wolfric a nod as
Natural
in,
20!
Oh, nice! Ewan, can I just give you a nod as in, let's get in the building?
Yeah. Yeah, I presume we're doing this,
Yeah,
it's walked in.
It's kind of like walking
right.
into the foyer and you're heading in.
I'm keeping an eye out for the staircase, which I saw the girl go up, because when we start getting close to that, I want to start dragging back so then I can head up the stairs without being noticed.
Ewan, he appears to be telling the truth.
Okay, this is good.
At least everything he's saying, he might be missing out bits of information. You're not too sure what, obviously, but at least in terms of what you've asked him, this seems to be the direct truth. Ranagash, you pop to detect magic, obviously coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You do actually detect something magical on him. I guess it's quite small, almost pocket size, probably in an internal pocket of his waistcoat by the looks of things. But by the sight of it, it almost looks like chalk.
We got it! We got it!
Ladies and gentlemen,
we got it.
The only other thing it might be is almost like an embalming tool, but obviously you can't see the blade on it. You can just see the, little handle, hence chalk shape.
Does he have... I have a question. If I check my hand again, is there any chalk dust residue?
Nope.
That's fine, this is fine.
He's very thorough. He seems to be very thorough.
Am I able to see, just as we head down the corridors, the staircase I saw the young woman head up?
Yes.
Marksar, do your thing.
Eidolon gives you a nudge.
So
As I'm going to start trailing back the second Marksar starts talking.
Right,
I know
so
what's this entrance hall looking like? What's the nice things I can point out?
Wait. So
Wolfrick's coming.
I have a question, right? I have a question for you. Right, do you know what kind of flowers she buys? You see, I'm obviously a wandering adventurer, but I have people back home who are very interested in flowers. Do you know what sort of kind she buys? Because I'm really enjoying the overall floral thing. Is also, I've been meaning to look for a good suit, and he kind of like reaches for the lapel to kind of turn the guy away from Eidolon. This is a very good lapel. Sorry, can I ask who hemmed this? Where did you get this? This is very nice.
It's imported. We get it from Summerhost. There's a tailor's there she is one of the best we've seen.
Do you think you could note down a name for me? Do you think you could?
I'm from Summerhost. I might recognize the person.
Give me 2 seconds whilst I actually have to bring up my Summerhost notes. Because you guys never went there, so it was never a place I committed to memory.
If you guys are just staying on both sides of him, Wolfric on his left and Marksar on his right, this is
I am so
this
keyed into this. I'm so keyed into this fucking espionage.
Weird, you're getting so hyped for this. This isn't even combat. This is just we are breaking and entering.
You're legally breaking and entering.
No, you see,
we haven't broken anything.
This is when I can blend Wolfric's weird kind of sensibility with Ewan's own brain, and it creates a perfect moment of I'm figuring shit out.
By the way, Matthew, did you message us the fact he has chalk in his pocket, just with the cantrip?
I will in a minute. Yes, I would do that.
Yeah, that's why, because every action that I'm doing right now is a deliberate distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using this to trail back, but I forgot I had music. It just pulls it together.
Then you walked away. You walked that was sticking in my heart.
Sorry, I just have to find the name.
Love so hard
There
to
you
find. Ladies and gentlemen.
As he kind of smirks and smiles, you might know her. She owns the old mill. It's a half-orc woman named Kalka. She's, again, the best tailor I've seen outside of the Citadel, and even then she could be rivaled.
I think I know Telka.
She doesn't like you.
Yeah, she doesn't like me, of course.
You
great.
frequently burn down her shop because she uses the skins and wool off of
Yeah, of
animals
course.
to make her clothes.
Arson.
Would
Just keep it up, you two. Just keep it up. We're getting
Right.
further in.
so
Yeah, I think I'm
where's Eidolon right now?
He's kind of at the back. Do you want to give me a stealth, Craig, just as you're shuffling?
Do I have advantage with the distraction?
Who has the better performance out of Wolfric and Marcusar?
Probably Marcus. I've not got.
I have
I've
a
got-
+1.
I've got a +1 as well.
Then it's
What's the roll?
up to you who rolls, but you will be rolling with advantage.
Wolfric seems to be doing most of the talking, so I'm going to suggest that he does it.
Makes more sense for Wolfric to do
So
it.
what am I? I'm rolling performance with advantage.
Performance with advantage, yeah.
2d20 KH
1.
1+1.
Yeah, +1.
Fuck yes!
Dirty 20.
You have advantage, Eidolon.
Nice.
As the boys are obviously questioning. As the, I guess,
That's not
butler...
bad.
That's not too
Could have
bad.
been a nat 1.
As I guess the butler kind of goes back on his comments, more looping round to the flowers. You asked about the flowers as well, sir. She is quite fan of lilies. Lilies and natural ferns tends to be the formations that
Are
the
they?
mistress prefers.
Do you think you could perhaps? Are you privy to show some of them, or is this her private collection?
Most are in her chambers. They are part of her private collection. However, if you wish, I think the Lord probably has some in his studies. He could perhaps show you. He has grown quite fond of them since she has been staying with us.
I'd imagine so. It's very important to have your hobbies, you know. This sort of flower keeping. Do you have any hobbies? Just like a man like you. Obviously, you're a steward and a butler, and you're kept very, very busy, sir. But I'm sure you must have some things to do when you have some time to yourself.
I look after the staff here, I look after the Lord, and I file most of his papers and send most of his letters. I have very little time to myself these days, I'm afraid, sir.
No night strolls, no fishing, no.
Sadly not. Perhaps once, but when the Lord came into his title, it meant that I had a lot of work suddenly placed upon me. Not that I mind, of course, you understand, but...
Obviously.
Have I been able to slink off successfully?
You have been able to slink off successfully, as he doesn't seem to have noticed as he kind of walks quite jovially with Wolfric and Marcusar, and then obviously Ranagash kind of scuttling behind.
I'm assuming by that point, then I will have come to the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
As I'll simply just casually just turn on heel
Yep.
and walk up that instead.
As
This is where the plan gets dangerous.
where do you go, Eidolon?
So you said we saw the woman go up this staircase and essentially dart away.
Well, you saw her at the top of this staircase, and then you don't know obviously whether she was coming up or down, and she darted round the corner to get away from the two of you.
I'll make my way in the direction I saw her go then. That's
There
the
is
best bet I have right now.
There is a lot of doors.
Do they have locks? Like keyholes?
I mean, most of them do, yeah.
Well, keeping an ear out, of course, for anybody coming around, I'm going to make the slow... Actually, I'll make my way to the end of the corridor first, make sure there's no attic or such like that where she might be more kept away, and if there isn't, I'll simply do the keyhole process. So I'll start from the back and make my way forward. It also means if someone comes up the staircase that I came up, I can quickly dart into the closest room if I can find one.
You have no luck for the first few doors. They just seem to be either storage rooms or empty bedrooms. Even, like... I guess the thing that strikes you a bit strange about them is, like, they're not empty bedrooms that have been tended to, or empty rooms that have been tended to. Like, everything is, I guess, got a fine layer of dust on it.
Untouched?
pretty much like a lot of the house, despite its size, and obviously its staff, or at least you presume its staff, none of these rooms are actually cared for. A lot of them have just been left. However, as you probably get maybe a third way down the corridor, you do hear someone coming up the stairs. Whether you don't know whether they're coming up the stairs or along the corridor, but you can hear footsteps coming towards you.
Cool. Is the door I'm at currently locked?
You don't know.
This is going to be fun. I'll give it a try. I am Speedy Gonzalez, so.
Roll me a d20.
That is a 2.
It's locked.
I'm Speedy. I'll try the one I tried before. Just trying to empty the bedrooms and such and storage rooms.
Roll me another d20.
10.
Cool. This one is unlocked.
Yeah, since just trying the door, listen, maybe getting a little closer. I'll dart along to the room I was at before, hopefully a storage room or empty bedroom, as you said, swing it open and very quietly pull it closed.
Cool. The footsteps you can
Keeping
hear
ear out for the corridor.
walking up the corridor are pretty light. They're not very heavy. Someone most likely not carrying anything, as obviously they would have a bit heavier footsteps. These are unlaboured footsteps.
I'll get down to the floor and keep an eye through the keyhole in case it goes past the door I'm at.
It doesn't. However, maybe a door not too far from where you are on the other side of the corridor. So like you're on like the left hand side, for example, they'd be on the right hand side. They open a door and close it behind them.
I'll keep an ear out, make sure nobody extra comes down the corridor before closing this door, and making my way to essentially the presumed area they were at. I don't expect to get them on the first one, but...
Roll me another d20. See how lucky you get.
3.
It's not the first door you try, as you obviously peer
Bring
through the
the
lock.
bad rolls out now.
As you obviously peer through the lock to try and see. But the, I guess, next door you come to, kind of keeping along that row, you do see the shadow of someone inside.
Can I actually see the person?
They're just out of view. You can more see them lighting candles, essentially, which is why you see their shadow across the floor.
I have an excuse, I'm just not very good at lying, so I'd be very quick to close the door if it's not the person. So, is the door locked?
Nope, the door is open.
Essentially, if this is the wrong person, I'm just going to claim the whole wrong room ideology. As I will just...
Oops, sorry.
Press down the door frame, Eidolon just sort of braces himself. Not slowly pushes it open, just almost with the casualness of someone who thinks that this is the right room. Just take it, push it open, and just keep my eyes inside the room.
There is a woman inside the room. She is, I guess, quite tall, though she's an elf, so that's not too surprising. Elven women are usually quite tall. She's very, very thin, quite slender, very ornate frame. She also carries herself with quite a lot of grace, though when you come into the room, she loses that almost instantly. It is the woman that the two of you saw on the stairs. Though I guess seeing her a bit more clearly, it's something that Eidolon would know, just because of how close he is, and obviously visitors to Aramba. She has markings along her body that kind of start on her neck and then come down her arms and wrap around her palms. Almost gold in colour, very shimmering, that are accustomed to the elves of the Vanril Woods.
Okay, I kind of wish I had detect magic with me here, but I'm just going to have to try use words instead. As I'd more just hold up a hand. I saw you before when I came to this manor for the first time. Myself and the people who I'm working with are trying to work out why people are going missing. So I need to know if you know anything.
I know I saw you. I don't know why people are going missing.
As he'd more just give a sigh, just nod his head. I'm sorry to intrude. As I'd more just take a step and just close the door temporarily, and more just slight sigh of relief now that I'm out of the corridor. Again, apologies for just following you this far. I just need to make sure. And actually, can I make an insight check on what she said before? More just Eidolon gathering his thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't think she's lying, but that's a 25.
She's not lying, but she's certainly not comfortable with what you're asking her.
Eidolon more just shakes himself, looks up. I'm sorry if this is a sensitive topic or anything, but if you know anything at all, we want to put a stop to this now. I know you probably don't know anything, but if there's anything you are suspicious of, or anything like that, I'd just really appreciate it if you came with it, as we want this to stop as much as anyone else does.
You said you
Sorry, I just needed to finish that.
You said you were apologising for intruding, and yet you come into my room and close the door.
As Eidolon just shakes his head. We think we know why they're disappearing, we just need to be sure, hence why I'm here. I can apologize as much as I can, but I do need to know. And forgive me for finding it rather strange that you simply seemed to run off the second we got here.
Why do you need to know?
Because, and you're welcome to doubt me, I know people have come looking and trying to find out why before. We really do mean to put an end to this, and we mean to put an end to this now. Too many people have already gone missing. Too many people are probably already dead. And we just want to make sure that doesn't happen to a single more person.
I don't know what's going on. I might be able to help.
I didn't come here to, I guess, expect you to know anything, but help would be greatly appreciated. And what can you offer?
I'm not from here.
I recognized. I'm sorry, yes. Or, at the very least, the Vonrel Woods.
I come from a small settlement in the Vanrel. We don't often mix with the towns and the Wall.
I know, but those tribes of people, I suppose, usually do at least trade once a year.
I don't know how I got here. I woke up here.
In the manor in Westcross or nearby?
In here, as she looks around the bedroom.
I'm sorry, but can you elaborate at all on any part of that? Or at least continue your recollection?
I don't have much more after that. I went to bed and home, and I came. When I woke up, I was here. I've been here ever since.
Are you allowed to leave?
I sometimes walk the keep grounds, but I'm brought inside.
Who keeps you here?
The Lord says it's for my own protection, and the servant says the same. They're the only two I see.
The servant being the small man, reasonably scrawny.
Yes. I have not seen anyone else, apart from the soldiers outside.
I don't expect an answer for this one, and if you can't, that's perfectly okay. But do you have any inclination as to why you're being kept here?
No.
In that case, then how long?
I don't know. Time is difficult.
What season was it back home, the last time you were there?
It was the end of summer. We were getting into the fall harvests.
What season is it right now?
It's the start of winter.
So that's about 2-3 months. Okay. Damn, I'm kind of drawing a little few blanks here. I don't know where else to go with this. This definitely puts suspicion on this place, though.
Absolutely.
Almost definitely.
Weird
Were
girl in
you-
castle, you've got to assume that it's weird.
Were you anyone of importance where you came from?
No. My father's a hunter.
And the Lord, how does he act around you?
He invites me to dinner. He buys me things. He's quite pleasant.
Though he never lets you leave.
No.
You said you could help. Was that simply this information?
I can't sleep. I suffer from nightmares. I always have. It's not something new. I've had them ever since I was young. But it means I can't go anywhere, so I walk the house to try and take my mind off of it. I've seen where he goes at night.
Who? Sorry.
The Lord. He goes there frequently.
Goes where?
Down into the cellars under the kitchens.
I'm assuming you've never been there, though.
No.
Maybe this is asking too much, but could you guide me there?
I know the way.
Am I within 60 feet of the party? I don't know how large the Lord's manor is.
Technically yes, but I need to jump back to them,
Yeah, no problem.
as obviously this
Sorry,
will be occurring.
I took a lot of time there.
As for my other three, who are obviously following this gentleman through the manor halls, Ranagash, I need an intelligence check from you. You should be good at
Straight
these.
intelligence.
Yep.
Straight intelligence.
Straight intelligence.
Come on, Matthew, this is your best stat.
You do have an 18 still, but
I don't think any of us have a 20. Matthew, yes!
Hey.
I thought it was +4.
No,
no, he's
only 17.
Oh.
He's one off of greatness.
Level 8. We're almost there.
As Ranagash, this is, I guess, a recollection for you, as Wolfric and Marcus are obviously talking to this gentleman, quite jovially moving through. You have quite a good memory, at least in most things, something you pride yourself on, your ability to remember stuff, just your intelligence in general. you obviously came in, and this man, Simon, he led you through the manor and took you to the Lord's study. You kind of remember the way that you were supposed to go. You were going that way for quite some time, but by all measures and accounts, the three of you probably should have been there by now.
Oh shit.
And this part of the manor isn't looking familiar to you.
That's really not good.
Right. To be subtle about this, I think I'd very just discreetly message Wolfric and then Marcus R. This isn't the way to the Lord's office. And just leave that.
We can't reply, can we?
You can actually, but it would maybe distract from your fast talking.
Essentially, with message, you can whisper so that no one can hear except Matthew as a response. Of course, it does mean you have to stop talking to whisper.
Yeah.
Wolfric waits for a dip in the conversation and then goes, I'll think of something. Now, pardon me, this has been a lovely chat. We really should be getting to the Lord. But can you show me where the bathroom is?
We're not too far, gentlemen. The drawing room does have one. It connects to another ensuite.
It's a fancy place, this.
Okay, you lead ahead then.
It was an old inn when the town was first erected. A lot of the buildings have those small offshoot rooms that were used for lavatories. We have turned them such into pantries and storage rooms, but most of the rooms, at least those that we use for functions, are still, he kind of smiles, functional. As he opens the door into quite a nice drawing room, actually. It is a drawing room, almost like a billiards room, that kind of big couches, centre table, and quite a lot of alcohol being displayed around the room, with several doors to small offshoot rooms. If you would, gentlemen, the Lord will only be a moment or two. I will fetch him for you. Please, make yourselves comfortable.
We will.
I head inside.
He kind of, I guess, leaves the three of you, gives you a bow, and as is usually customary, giving you your own privacy in this space, he closes the doors.
How did you not notice that there's only 3, that's not 4?
You probably did.
Yeah.
As what do the three of you do?
You could actually message me, Matthew. I think I'm still in range. I don't know, though.
How
I think it's
far is
120
message?
I thought it was 120 feet, so...
I believe it is, but let me just double check that. It is indeed 120 feet.
So as long as you know, I guess, where Eidolon is, obviously you would be in your middle. You would be in the middle of your conversation with the young lady when you heard this, Eidolon. But obviously you can respond telepathically if needs be. If you do want to message him, Ranagash.
Ranagash, was this the Lord's drawing room you visited last time?
Just to confirm, it is not.
No, you were in his study last time.
Yeah.
Not a drawing room.
This is not the Lord's study now. This is a different room.
Is Detect Magic still up? Is there any weird shit going on?
Nope.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, has it... No, nothing spooky.
No weird spooky magic shit. Other than the weird spooky magic shit that the three of you have on you.
Can I try the door that the butler just left through?
Door's open.
Okay, it is unlocked. I won't immediately walk out. I want to see if it was locked. So what's the plan of action? Should we wait for the Lord or for Eidolon?
I have not been messaged yet, so I have no understanding of this.
Probably let Eidolon know what's happened or where we are.
Let Eidolon know, and we can plan our future move accordingly.
You know, like, look up or whatever the hell, you know, like...
Is there windows or anything?
Yeah, there's windows out into the courtyard.
Okay. My worry is that we're in we're in a room that could be sealed off.
What be your message, Matthew?
It'd basically be we're in a drawing room, but not the Lord's Manor. Can't say why, but something's clearly afoot here, and obviously he's probably mid-conversation, so can't respond. But
at this point, at least in the conversation, you will have learned the girl's, I guess, confusion about being here when you will have got this in your head.
While she's talking, then, can I just whisper my message back?
Yep.
Met up with the girl. Something's wrong. Of course, I don't know where she's going to take me, so I can't say that.
So then I'll report back to Wolfric and Marcus Ark to the best of my ability of what's going on, or what we think's going on.
As the three of you, I need a perception check.
I'm good at these.
You are now, yes.
25.
Oh, so is Matthew.
9.
Wolfric, not so much.
One of the only people with a positive there.
As Wolfric, this is with disadvantage, and then Ranagash and Marcusar, this is not. Paul, you have advantage. Matthew, you're just a flat roll. I need a Constitution saving throw from the three of you.
Oh no.
As Marcusar, Ranagash, you are able to see it due to. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, Ewan, that's good. Oh, Paul, that's good.
Ewan, you're with disadvantage. My apologies on your 22. But you should still be good at this because you're a fighter.
Don't say that, don't open your fucking mouth.
Jinxed it.
So what do I notice that these two chuckle fucks don't?
So Furret is now the GM. Sorry, Ewan. I actually feel bad about that. As Marcusar, you'll notice it. Ranagash, you'll almost notice it, I guess, last minute with the detect magic. You notice on the base of the door, Marcusar, obviously you were looking at the door, hence wandering and pondering the room, you will have seen it. You notice the brand.
Oh, fuck.
And you notice the brand light up. As first, Marcusar being left alone, you notice Wolfric fall to the ground unconscious.
What?
Followed by Ranagash falling to the ground unconscious. And then I need to roll something.
Oh, fuck.
It'll be the poison, probably.
Help! Banging on the door.
I mean, the door's... Oh.
This went from a great heist to, oh shit, we got played. You know the meme we were talking about before? That wasn't us to the butler. That was the butler to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
I'm sorry, guys. I've kind of just abandoned y'all to get fucked.
I don't have enough dice for this.
The one person who can contact
Wait, I
you
can
is
say it.
unconscious.
I'm down.
Say the line, Wolfric.
If this takes you below half health, Marcusar, let me know.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Do we take any damage?
No, you two
I
don't.
think you're just unconscious.
You two are
You're just unconscious.
I wish I was unconscious then.
33.
Does 33 damage?
Yep.
Ooh,
Hey
yeah,
guys, I think we found the person who's making the people disappear.
yeah, that's taken me down to 23 health.
Cool. As you are now also unconscious.
Dope.
So
Swell.
you're now unconscious from injury, not just unconscious from unconscious reasons.
What?
So I can get some more juice because I have an incredibly dry throat tonight and I'm blaming work. We're going to take a little break as we'll leave Eidolon there and we'll leave the three of you unconscious in the drawing room.
Did I even
Oh,
see what made me unconscious?
Nope.
Oh, fuck.
As it rolls an 18 on stealth, a nat 20, and then a 24 to attack you.
We're fucked. Good game, guys.
GG.
Is we'll see what the fuck is happening to my party after the break. Oh, this is a lot better than what I had planned. Oh, there we go. You're all back. For some reason, my thing glitched out. So, oh, Matthew's portent's come back. Why has that happened? There we go. Now it's gone. You only have an 8.
He's taken a long rest. This is him getting knocked out.
Doesn't
Matthew,
count.
you could have used that. Matthew, you could have used that 18 to save yourself.
Yeah.
Mistakes have been made. Our first
Hindsight.
entering the Lord's Manor.
I live for the
Hindsight's
drama.
2020.
He lives for the drama. I mean, to be fair, if he hadn't, and I would have rolled the attack to unlike Marcusar, where I knew unless I rolled really, really well, it wouldn't have killed him. That could have killed Radagash.
Yeah, that would have
God.
dropped me to 7. What you hit on Marcus are. So it's probably for the best.
It's probably for the best. He just fell unconscious. As
Could I have retroactively, it's like, I see them pass out, like, I'll play along, and I just dropped to the floor?
no,
Damn
as I guess this would kind of jump to Eidolon.
Well, yeah, everyone else is unconscious.
Well, I mean, even just in general for now, is you're obviously following this girl through the manor house. I imagine you would obviously then, like, use your telepathy to message the boys and be like, this is where I'm going.
I don't have my key points spent yet because since I got messaged by Ranagash, I assumed that if anything was necessary, he would be messaging me.
Oh no.
As
Actually, no. If I'm on my way to the bloody cellar, I
Yeah.
probably would.
that's kind
Yeah,
of my
so
thinking,
it's-
is it's like you are on the move and you've not heard back from them yet.
Have I gotten my key point back that I spent at the beginning of the day?
No.
Damn it. So I'm done at 5 now. So yeah, I'll essentially just proc that. Let the essentially black veins sort of carry up just a little bit. And I essentially just try reach out to all 3 of them because, well, it would be like 1 at a time, but as usual, I try all 3, essentially just say. Mainly direct at Ranagash first, actually, because I know he can communicate back. She said there's something suspicious going down in the cellar. I'm heading down there. What's up with you 3?
No response.
Snake? Snake?
Snake!
Boss, you just killed a child. Congratulations, boss. That's why you're the best.
Ranagash?
Dial tone.
Labyrinth, come in.
Where is the Lord today? I'd say audibly to the girl who I'm walking with, probably starting down the corridor.
I don't know, I've not seen him.
Were him and the steward doing anything this earlier today? Or have you not seen him for the entirety of today?
They were in a meeting this morning after breakfast, but I've not seen them since.
See, I'm able to communicate with my comrades. You saw one of them when I came in earlier. I'm able to communicate with them through telepathy. They're not responding. I can feel that they're in range, but they're not responding.
What does that mean?
I don't know, if I'm being frank.
Do you know where they were going?
To meet with the Lord. Though apparently they were on the way to his study, but they weren't being led there. They might have been ambushed.
Do you know where they were?
I'd essentially just give the description of if we've reached the stairway down. Have we descended down the stairway?
Started to.
Essentially I'd just point the direction down. They're heading down that way.
There's a lot of rooms down that way. I don't know which one they'd maybe be in.
Zydon would more just rob his temple. I'd more likely get caught than anything else, so I stayed out here. Show me to the cellar first. Oh shit, I've just realized something. You might... I don't know if you would be able to now, because obviously we're quite through the interaction. For the telepathy, I've been able to do it every time before now, but I have to be able to see the creature to do it. I was just reading through it there.
It's alright.
Cool. Because like every time before now, I'd have been able to do it. Because
Yeah.
I've been able to see the creatures. But this time, I was essentially just reading through it, making sure I had it right.
I think...
It's not.
I think...
that you?
It's not. I was gonna say.
No, go you.
I was gonna say. I was just gonna say it's not game breaking.
No. And I think the way that, like... I think for mechanics' sakes, because obviously only you and Ranagash can really, like, communicate telepathically for the sake of the visage, it would perhaps make more sense, at least for the 4 of you, to be able to do stuff like this, which I think is pretty cool. That aesthetically, as long as you've created a bond with a scene creature,
Oh, I dig that.
then you can communicate telepathically with them. I think that
Does
would be a cool way to kind of play with it.
Does that transcend some range boundaries in that case? Go a little bit longer if I've made a bond with them?
No, I would say that it still has the same range, but they don't necessarily have to be in your sights.
Cool. I just wanted to make that statement there because that is a mechanic I technically broke there. So
Nah.
it's just making
Like-
it verbal.
Again, like, I think with a lot of stuff like that, I feel like keeping the aesthetic more than the mechanic kind of plays out a little bit better. Mostly because there's not really a mechanic detriment to that, like Ewan was saying. Like, there's not really a game-breaking thing that allows you to communicate telepathically. It'd be different if it was like Wulfric cheating an extra attack, but talking telepathically, nah.
Oh, that's fine. Then that's all fine then. As I would still say, we'll head down to the cellar first, because there's too many rooms to investigate. I even saw that on the way down. 2, they were being led away from where I actually know they were going, so I can't even use memory for that. And 3, I have no idea what to expect, and if there's guards here at all.
She would kind of, I guess, look slightly confused. We can do, unless it's the Lord though, or the servant. You likely wouldn't get caught.
And why is that?
The only other person that's here is me. I told you, I've not seen anyone else.
So in this entire building, it is only the 3 of you.
I've not seen anyone else. The 2 of you, yourself and the orc, you're the first other people I've seen.
What the fuck? Just out of character, okay.
I'm getting the word nonce.
I could technically make it so that everyone within 600 feet can hear me, but I don't think that would be a good idea.
Please don't.
Fuck.
You said there's a lot of empty rooms.
Yes.
Did you say you were in a drawing room, Matthew?
I think so.
How many drawing rooms are there?
Maybe 2 or 3. There were only a few rooms big enough to be converted into meeting rooms.
As it's more for the aesthetic, because I literally have stillness of mind now. I'd want to just take his hand, just put it down on his chest for a second, just calm himself. Mm-hmm. Is there many on this bottom floor?
Down that way? I think there's only 1.
You don't need to come with me, but if you can give me your direction, if you can give me directions to there, this is very likely. If you came with me, you might be put in serious danger.
It's going down that corridor, taking a left. It's 2 rights, and then you'll come to almost a dead end. It's a far door on the left-hand side. There's a few offshoot rooms, but they're just storage. They were old bedrooms.
Do I need to remember that, or will that be good enough for me?
No.
So, just clarifying, you're staying back, aye?
I'm not good with people.
Alright. And the directions to the cellar, just so I have them both.
It's through a drawing room. She kind of points to the other side. You'll find the kitchen's attached in a dining room. There's a trap door that leads down into the wine cellar. There's a door on the far end. You'll see it.
I'll give a nod. Action dash to the direction she gave me for the first drawing room. And when I get there, I'm being very fucking careful.
So, when you get there, the doors to the drawing room are open. It's quite a nice room, on the grand scheme of things. Not too far from the doors. Not bleeding out, but almost burned, I guess is the way to describe it. Not with fire, though. Not that kind of cauterized burn. It's much more of a corrosive burn. Familiar
at all?
A little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Almost straight across his back, you can kind of see it ripping the folds of his cloak. Marksar, you're going to have to stitch this one. Is Marksar lying face down?
I guess if I was freaking out and trying with the door and all that stuff, I would probably, whatever would happen would have came from behind. So let's say I was face down.
Yeah.
Just for note, just in case, I can see through non-magical and magical darkness, and thanks to the amulet I have, I can see through invisibility.
Not too far from him, more pacing, I guess, the center of the room perhaps when he fell down, is Wulfric. He's much more, I guess, like Marksar was very much attacked and almost knocked, kind of that frantic unconsciousness. Wulfric almost just looks like he's just dropped. Ranagash isn't there though.
Ran isn't there?
Ranagash isn't there.
Is there any, like...
He's been wizard now!
Is there any, like, drag marks on the floor?
None.
He's been wizard napped.
Okay. Does it look like Marcusar and Wulfric are asleep or unconscious?
Marcusar looks like he's unconscious, like I guess the shock almost just knocked him. Wulfric looks more like he's asleep, but is in a very, very deep sleep.
If I shouted so much so that every creature within 600 feet could hear me.
Just scream into his head. Wake the fuck up.
Okay.
You don't
Wake
know.
the fuck up, samurai.
Alright,
We've got
first
a
I'm
city
gonna
to burn.
essentially take a look around the entrance to the room. Essentially like analyzing the door frame, the door, the essentially ground that leads into it.
Nothing is there. The
Cool.
door itself doesn't look like it's, I guess, been disturbed. From the position of Marcusar, though, the door was likely opened after whatever happened in here happened.
I'm going to tentatively take a step in, reach forward, and essentially just pull Wolfric a bit closer to me.
Drag. Yeah.
As I'm then gonna, he is face up, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take the metal gauntleted hand and just backhand him across the face.
Ow! Wolfric, that hurts!
Oh!
Is that an unarmed attack?
That would be an unarmed attack just to see how bad you smack him.
Do I need to roll to hit first?
No, because he's unconscious and on the
So
floor.
is this an auto crit because he's unconscious?
Yes.
Luckily, you and it's only a d6 because I don't have my arms active. That's 8 damage, that's minimum.
As Wolfric, this fucking hurts. You were in a pleasant sleep and you can almost feel as you get up, you could just feel the crack in the jaw as this metal hand has just smacked you.
Wolfric, what the hell happened here?
Wolfric looks up at him. Gonna fucking know.
Wolfric, look around you.
The fuck happened?
Where's Ranagash? And why is Marcusar bludgeoned to death?
I don't fucking know.
Pick him up, now.
I mean, we've got the opportunity. We could just. Sorry, Dark Humor. I'll get him up. I'll get him up.
Do you want to get smacked again?
Right, sorry. Wolfric kind of picks Marcusar up like a giant baby, kind of shakes him a wee bit, and then like puts him over his shoulder.
I found the girl I was looking for.
Yes, and
The Lord disappears into the cellar often at night.
that's fucking scary. That's
Also-
not good.
These are the only 3 people in the whole manor ever.
Shit the fucking bed. Like, this is it. We've got it. We need to find them.
I know how to get to the cellar, and well, the fact he's not here means Ranagash is likely there. And it also looks like our only source of healing is unconscious due to injury.
I mean, you could give him a little smack.
Would that work? I thought he was unconscious. because he was-
Wolfric, rather than smacking him, Wolfric's gonna like violently shake him.
You know, the same way you get a baby to shut up.
Paul, are you saying that you shake babies?
I've never held a baby.
I wonder why!
I wonder why. Because you.
Tell a lie, I've held a baby once and never again.
Is it because you tried to shake it?
Is it because he shook it to death?
Don't joke from babies, you mad
As-
lad.
No,
Paul?
it's just... Yeah. I have a reason. I don't want people to think that I shook a baby to death.
Okay, give us your reason and then you can give me a constitution saving throw.
There's a guy I was working with. I went round to his house once for some drinks, and he had a newborn baby. And it was the first time I held a baby, and I did it for like a minute. I was like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. Can someone take this baby from me? That's the
He
only
was
time.
only uncomfortable because in his drunken stupor he started shaking the baby violently.
It was not when we. It's not when we were drinking. It was before I started drinking.
That's what the drunk memory tells you.
I found out I was holding the baby wrong. I wasn't supporting the head enough and all that crap. Anyway, I don't shake babies.
Give me a constitution saving throw.
If you fail it, you do shake babies.
He fails
No
it, he stays
pressure.
unconscious. Shaking
failed.
Marcusar doesn't work. He's still unconscious.
Wolfric, pick his head up, because I am just going to punch him square in the face.
Okay.
I mean, I would need a roll for that.
To hit?
Yeah.
Is he?
With
Am I?
advantage.
Do I? Yeah. I'm sorry, a little bit, not very much. That's a nat 20.
Punch him.
Dude,
So
I'm
I-
already low.
I didn't do too much damage to Wolfric, and that is 5 doubled 10 damage.
You take 10 damage, Marcusar. As
13 HP.
you are very much awake, with a very sore face.
Ah!
Welcome back to the world, sunshine. Ranagash has been taken.
And you all were unconscious in a room.
This time?
You all were unconscious in a drawing room. Can you explain that?
The butler must have done it.
There was the brand. It appeared at the door. It glowed. It glowed? It glowed?
Glowed.
Glowed.
It glued.
I'm saying that all in character.
Then you should have saw it before you went in. We're heading to the cellar, as apparently the Lord's been going there a suspicious amount.
Alright, let's get going.
Okay. Just gonna give myself a wee cure wounds first. I just, like, in the same way, I, like, rub my head and be like, ah, and at the same time, I'm doing cure wounds.
During cure wounds.
Yep. D8 plus 3 plus D4. 19 is not terrible. It could be a lot better.
Yeah.
That's, math. 32.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As Ranagash, you can't blame me, you gave me permission to do this. As I need a D8. No con save for this one though, just a D8.
Oh, that's not nice.
It's getting smaller.
It's getting smaller.
What happens when you're not rolling a dice anymore?
He will have to roll a die, constantly roll a dice. The smallest I can go is a D4.
A D3 technically exists now in official rulebooks.
Yeah, I know, but it's stupid. Okay, so, Ranagash. You're not really too sure, I guess, where you are. Your head kind of spins for a little while, and it seems to be that you're almost part of a crowd. Very much onlooking to what looks like some kind of ceremony. There's a lot of people there. They all seem to be quite uproarious, quite cheerous, celebrating something, though you're not too sure what. Off in the distance, kind of off from kind of a main stage, you can kind of see a group of people, all very much dressed like Eidolon. Obviously his armour is not in pieces, it's full plate armour, it's all together, the emblem is completely visible. They all look very well done, they all look very done up. Eidolon, you can see him off in the distance, he's cut his hair. Kind of looking a lot more, I guess still clean shaven, not quite as much facial hair as you know him with, but he's looking a lot more like himself. And he is standing with a very beautiful young woman. She is, I guess, quite familiar to you. Kind of similar height to him, but I guess a little bit more curved in her form. She is very slender, wearing quite a beautiful silver dress that seems to complement, I guess, the kind of silver and blue garb that Eidolon is wearing. She has very, very almost golden hair, but it's more of a white blonde colour, and you can see the two of them smiling and almost laughing with one another. They seem to be in some kind of conversation as you're kind of off the side of this crowd. You're not too sure what they're saying, though they seem to be very much enjoying it. It's the first time probably you've ever seen Eidolon, I guess, almost stuttering and blushing. As before, I guess, the ceremony begins, you can see the two of them have this conversation and he takes a knee. They seem to be very, very, I guess, ecstatic after this, as she takes something from him, presumably a ring, and as he stands up, she kind of throws herself on him. Very, very happy at this fact. Can you give me a perception check? Just a straight d20, don't add your modifiers.
Straight down the rail.
You notice that amongst a few of the other soldiers, you can see this elven gentleman, one that has been appearing very frequently in your visions, though this time he, I guess, looks a lot more normal. He's not tall, he's not broad shoulders, he's not wolf-like. He's kind of got the shaggy topped hair and almost very vibrant red eyes. You can kind of see them, even from here in the crowd, taking a few paces not too far from Eidolon. He looks very proud until perhaps the woman throws herself around Eidolon after he takes the knee. And at that point, you can kind of see him shift in the crowd. He doesn't look as comfortable. He doesn't look as proud. He tries to shake it off, but he doesn't look, I guess, as happy as he once did. As you see one of the captains on stage kind of look at the two gentlemen, say something to them, again, quite a muttering tone, and the two boys head up onto stage, where the commander takes, I guess, centre stage, thanks everyone for coming, and introduces a very small woman. When I say very small, I mean very small. She's maybe pushing 5 foot, but that's even an exaggeration. However, when she stands on the stage, when she comes up, the whole crowd falls silent. For some reason, her presence just seems to gather a type of respect that, even in this body, you almost seem kind of scared of her. Not too sure why, but she is there, as she is introduced as Miss Cragwin, giving the boys some form of merit, at least from what the commander says. As she kind of smiles, looks out over the crowd. I thank you all for being here, and I thank you all for being here on such a momentous occasion, where we can crown our first captains at such a young age. Now, I have spoken with my own Dragon Guard and with the Watchmen to which positions these boys should fill, and we have reached our decision. As she continues, Deirdre Vafine will become captain of the first rampart and of the first defence. And I am pleased to announce that Eidolon de Dallas, will become captain of the first rampart and of the first assault, effective immediately. As she kind of turns around and shakes the hands of the two boys. They're probably only, 19 when he was crowned captain? 18, 19?
18, 19.
Yeah, they're
Probably
in his late teens, but he doesn't look much different than he is now. As she kind of celebrates with the two of them, the elven gentleman, known as Deirdre, looks happy as she's commending him, though when she commends Eidolon, he doesn't look as happy, we'll put it that way. As crowd roars, crowd cheers, your head kind of almost spins and you watch the three of them upon the stage, where, almost blinking, nauseous feeling coming in the back of your throat, you find yourself in a cellar. Quite dark, very dimly lit, in the grand scheme of things. However, people themselves, the figures you saw, change and shift. Well, two of them do. What was Eidolon turns into more of a scrawny man, most likely the butler. And the woman, gains a bit of weight and gains some height and changes gender as it takes the form more of the Lord. The elven man, however, remains as the elven man. The only thing that changes is perhaps his transparency, as he seems to be there but not all there, as you seem to be in a back room somewhere. That, puts Marcusar's cult to shame.
You're getting clowned on, Paul.
Oh,
Don't even. You got a good. You got a
I didn't
cult and
expect that to hurt me, but it did.
You got a cult and it isn't even a good one.
As this is a lot more ritualistic, as you can almost see, knowing from your more arcane background, you can see a summoning circle on the ground. Quite an elaborate
a demon
one.
Summon cult. Ooh.
I just had to one-up Paul's cult.
I mean, you're succeeding, and you've only been describing it for like the past 30 seconds.
We're not a cult. I'm not. I'm a little bit offended. I'm not that offended.
As you yourself, Ranagash, are restrained, easiest way to deal with spellcasters. You also don't have your shit on you. You can actually see it maybe 5-10 feet away from you.
Ran naked.
No, it's like his runes and stuff, Paul. Get your mind out the gutter.
Paul perpetually down bad.
Just do the work for our listeners.
Paul, everybody. No. It's his runes and his equipment. Stuff that he could use to cast, not his clothes, Paul.
I mean, I don't know what he uses to cast. I don't know what he's packing.
Anyway, Ram. When you do wake up and you do kind of come to your senses, you can obviously feel the metal of the manacles on your wrists behind your back. You can see your equipment not too far from you. But you can also hear a conversation between the three men. Or at least between the Lord and the Elven man. As the Lord expresses quite a lot of discomfort about leaving someone alive. He doesn't like the notion of it. He seems to be quite nervous about the fact that you are alive, and that even though those upstairs will likely be dealt with, he doesn't like the fact that you are here and you can obviously witness what's going on. However, I guess it's the elven gentleman who perhaps unsettles you even further to this whole debacle, as he places a hand on the Lord's shoulder. The reason he is alive is because we need him alive. He's a lot more useful alive, the others less so. But it would appear this half-orc is rather important. As, again, the Lord expresses his discomfort in such things through now very incoherent babbling. The serving man, the man Simon, seems very quiet, keeping his pace a little bit, hands behind his back, as the gentleman, or the elven gentleman, begins to take a few paces towards you. He is quite tall. He is a lot taller than he was in your vision, again by about maybe a foot and a half. And the closer he gets, the more you are, I guess, aware that this is not actually a person. It is very much a projection. As other than the colour of his eyes, this very almost striking red colour, everything else is very translucent. It's the only feature that seems to stick, no matter how close he gets. As he kind of kneels down, you can see him even smiling through the projection. Where's Eidolon, Ranagash?
And how would I know that?
Because you walked into this manor with him. Where is he?
I don't keep him on a lead.
Then talk to him.
What? You think I can... You want me to cast some kind of magic? Might need to pass me my shit.
Talk down to the man.
Fine. But you'll bring him here. I'll know if you say anything else. As he turns and, I guess, gives a nod to the serving man, who loosens his posture ever so slightly and heads into your shit and pulls out your bag of runestones. More scattering over the floor, quite carelessly. You can even see that some of the, I guess, more well-used runestones have that little familiar spark to them of probably not throw them like that. They're ready to pop. As Simon addresses you. Which one is it?
Oh. Point out the one for message.
Gestures awkwardly at runestone with manacled hands.
We should gesture the one for fireball.
They would know.
I know.
As he slides it over at least far enough that you are able to hold it.
You know, sort of awkwardly crane and pick it up, and I'm gonna have to Eidolon, it would be like, I'm in the cellar, expect resistance, and an old friend.
Is that to me?
Yep.
You won't get a response back. However, what Marcusar and Wolfric would see is, as they're heading in the direction, Eidolon would both take out his sword with one hand, and you'd see him sort of like shake the tendrils active in his other hand. Essentially letting them trace past them. You're almost walking through a sort of unpleasant sort of mist as he walks forward.
Is everything good, Eidolon?
No. No, it isn't. I'd recommend igniting that axe, Wolfric.
Ignite the axe.
Sickle at the ready. Hand outstretched.
You're like the least terrifying out of the three in terms of imagery.
Yeah, I'm trying, like, he's fighting, like, fucking tendrils and sword and flaming axe. I'm just like, I'm looking like, you know how you're in a POV game, first-person game, where they're just, like, weirdly holding items in front of them?
Yeah. you're just like the Minecraft arms with the pickaxe and the map in the other hand.
Literally.
So embarrassing.
As for Ranagash, the elven gentleman smiles. Well, at least you can follow some orders.
Hell do you want from me?
At the moment, I want you to bring Eidolon to me. Then I'll see what happens afterwards.
You know, if he has his way, there won't be an afterwards.
I don't plan on him having his way.
Good luck with that.
It's
I don't need luck.
This man's confident.
He has every right to be.
Alright, I take it we're arriving at the...
Almost. As the
If
elf
you don't
kinda-
mind, Wolfric, I'll be heading down first.
As the elf kind of stands up, turns to the Lord, who is very nervous at this point, kind of stuttering. What did you mean? You're bringing more people here? That wasn't part of the agreement. No one else is supposed to know about this. The elfin man kind of just smiles. Well, whether you like it or not, you're getting more visitors. I'd advise leaving as quickly as you can. There's only one my beast isn't going to kill. And it's not you. As at this point, as he's kind of taking a few paces, I guess, towards the centre of the summoning circle, Eidolon, you obviously burst through the door first, followed by Wolfric and Marcusar. You see the Lord and his serving man. You see the summoning circle. You see a manacled Ranagash. And in the centre of the summoning circle, kind of pacing, turning around to look at you, you see a astral projection of Gairdra.
Still there?
Still there.
I didn't expect this to be today, so forgive me for being a little off guard.
Right. Wolfric looks at Eidolon, looks back at them. You know there's only one solution to this, right?
We'll forget the Lord now.
Alright. Marcusar,
Yes.
As I'm going to raise up my sword,
slaughter them.
pointed towards the projection of Gairdra in the center of the circle. What the hell are you doing here?
Experimenting. As I was in the Citadel, until you killed my experiment.
Yeah, how did that go for you?
Better than expected, though I wasn't
Can
expecting to see you alive.
Can I inspect the summoning circle?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can I go? What is it? I don't care about the magic of the runes. What is it made out of?
It looks like it's been carved into the rock, very similar to the rest of the brands on the buildings.
Is it like cobbles? Is it like a cobbled floor?
Yeah, like big stone slabs.
Is there any smaller slabs?
You and I would quite like to finish what I'm doing.
Sorry.
If I'm to be blunt with you.
Yeah, sorry, you finish.
Sorry,
about
Abby,
that.
can you continue what you were saying? No, I get it. It's fine. I just wanted to finish this. It just shows you one thing then. You couldn't even finish a job right.
I finished one
No.
job right, did I not? Or should I say two?
Where are you right now?
He kind of leans forward. That kind of, I guess, familiar smirk that you once thought was, I guess, more friendly than it perhaps was originally. Closer than you think.
As I'm essentially gonna just step forward, essentially let the sword not loosely fall, but just essentially just keep it down and just raise up the hand instead. You couldn't kill me once and there's no chance you're gonna be able to do it again.
This time I'm not aiming for you. Have fun, Eidolon. As if you're heading for one of the smaller stones to break the summoning circle, Ewan.
Yeah.
You are able to do so with relative ease, which disrupts the projection to some degree, but as he disappears, something else takes its place, though doesn't seem to be requiring the circle.
Fuck, I was thinking if I could break the circle, we would stop whatever he was summoning.
I think he was almost done essentially when we got here.
Damn.
As in his place, standing quite tall, about 12 foot, immediate thought is it is a lycanthrope, it is a werewolf. It's not. It has the shape of one.
I think we found what's killing the people, guys.
It has the shape of one, it has the bulk of one, but it almost looks like a amalgamation of corpses, broken and battered, with other parts being pulled off of it, though it doesn't look like it's all there, almost appearing semi-corporeal, with very, very long, thin claws that seem to scrape across the floor as it takes a few steps towards you.
I'm sinking my axe in its shoulder. Fuck this noise.
I think this might be initiative.
As ending our session for tonight, I need you boys to roll me some initiative going into next session. And see what the initiative is going to look like. As, yes, you have found the... What is with you guys in fucking initiative?
I mean, it's only one other person we have to fight, so it's not like there's lots of people.
We need to kill the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I think he's not as big of an issue.
He isn't, but I still want him dead.
I mean, he didn't roll
It's the
very
lichen-
well on initiative.
The lichen corpse beast that's in front of us.
As yeah, it seems like you guys have found the boss of Westcross.
I'm pretty happy we strayed away from the halls of the faith now.
Yeah. It was like Em just kept bringing it up, like, ooh, you didn't really like check insight there, and
So if you,
That's what made me think that it
it's a
definitely
red
wasn't
herring.
that.
to be fair, I just wanted to trip Paul up.
And you seemed to.
Oh shit, I forgot about Craig. So it's
My fucking notes for that just say what the fuck,
Not incorrect.
That's valid.
The fact that Matthew's manacled, can he do anything?
Nope. You're gonna have to deal with
He
that.
can do stuff with verbal and material components because he's got his rune stones, but
He's got a
apart
rune
from that-
stone. He has got a rune stone. His other ones are not too far from him, but they're still scattered on the floor.
Does Mage Hand require a material component, or do you even have Mage Hand?
I do, I think.
Does Mage Hand require material? Because you can make. It does not. It's only verbal and semantic. So you
But
could.
can I do somatic with manacles?
Pretty sure you still got control of your hand.
Yeah, because your hands are.
The problem you have with Matthew casting without having access to his rune stones is his rune stones are his casting focus.
Yeah.
They're essentially Ranagash's aesthetic for his spellbook. So
Totally.
he kind of needs the casting focus.
That's fair.
However, you guys have rolled shit in initiative,
Swell.
so it's going to be a very interesting start to next session.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Open
die.
Crate has bad decks.
Do you want to know what it rolled on initiative?
At 20.
Fuck it, sure.
21.
Nice.
Right.
Love it.
Nice. Perfect.
So
That's what we like.
yeah, going into next week, it's definitely going to smack you guys first, as Eidolon got to see Gairdra.
That was fun. Very unexpected, very quickly.
I was able to catch you off guard with something at least. As we will say goodbye to you for now, leaving you with that very intense cliffhanger. And I'll let my boys mull over combat for next time.
Yes.
As for now, it's goodbye from me, and goodbye from my boys.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.